somebody who understands what it takes to protect Americans' livelihoods when they've done it before in the business world. We have that opportunity. But see, here's the problem. Here's the problem, is that we've been here before. We've had an important election that we were told back then was the most important in our lives. In 2018, Democrats had presidential level turnout. And Republicans who came out for our president in 2016 couldn't be bothered to show up for the polls in 2018. That can't happen again. See, the reason why this country is moving so far to the left is not just because of leftist Marxist extremists. It's because of God-fearing, hard-working Republicans who can't be bothered to show up and vote. Yeah, when I talk about telling the truth, that applies to everybody. Because see, here's the thing. I believe that there is not a truth or your truth, but there is the truth, and sometimes the truth hurts. I've been preaching about faith and family, God and country, and service before self because I was raised by two Democrats from the Jim Crow South to believe that those are American values. Those are the things that bind us and hold us together. But see, here's the thing. If we forget our responsibility, not just to vote, but to get 10 million of our closest friends to vote as well, then nothing's going to change. We're going to continue sending the same career politicians who left us in desperate situations to begin with. People who talk about being bipartisan when they were just endorsed by AOC, vote with Chuck Schumer 95% of the time, and vote with Bernie Sanders 85% of the time. I mean, I didn't learn Common Core math in school, but I'm pretty sure that's a solid A as a New York senator and a solid B as a socialist. Does that work for you? We have a senator who talks about protecting our Great Lakes. Meanwhile, he's been in political power for 30 years, and there's still Asian carp DNA in the Chicago River. They're still dumping in Lake St. Clair. There's still algae blooms in the Erie. There's still PFAS in our inland waterways and wells, and our babies are still drinking leaded water in Flint. Is that good enough for you? Lip service. You have a senator who talks about protecting small businesses when he's voted to increase your taxes 106 times and would eliminate protections for opportunity zones, would eliminate the childhood tax credit, and has not supported the PPP that would put money, your money, back into your hands and not the bureaucrats in Washington. Is that good enough for you? You have a career politician in Gary Peters who talks about protecting our seniors, but he's lying through his teeth. This man voted to take $716 billion away from Medicare. Is that good enough for you? You have somebody who talks about health care. When I have my employees on the same health care plan that my children are on, my son has a pre-existing condition. Meanwhile, Gary Peters is on a taxpayer-funded, gold-plated insurance plan that doesn't get applied to ACA, and he's lying about us. Does that work for us? He lacks the character and integrity to lead. But what we need is change. And that change is just hours away. I'm a combat veteran who understands what's at stake. And so here's the thing. The reason why we're in this situation is because Republicans are content with calling themselves the silent majority. What are we ashamed of? When we put him first, our values are righteous. And when we put our neighbors and our family and our friends and our state and our country first, our policies work. See, this is what's important. We need to be able to speak into the void and give hope to people who have not heard hope before, to give truth to people who've been lied to. And this is the opportunity and obligation we have. The Republican Party was founded by people in the state of Michigan who recognized that we are endowed by our Creator certain inalienable rights that are among them are life, liberty, and happiness. That we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Not because the government says so, that because God says so. The first Republicans were not bashful, they were bold. They were not silent, they stepped up. And we have to have the same boldness right now. We can't be the silent majority because people are counting on us. I'm going to leave you with one story. I'm going to leave you with one story that I got from a friend recently. This friend told me about a time he went to a church service and the pastor was talking about preaching to the choir. Now, what do people often cite when they talk about preaching to the choir? They usually use that to imply that you're wasting your time, that you're talking to people that you already have won over, that there are folks out there that still need to be won, and that's true. But see, here's the thing that the pastor said that really resonated to me, especially when people tell me that I'm preaching to the choir by hitting Livingston County, going to Kent County today, going to Ottawa County today, being in Traverse City right now, going to North Oakland in a few minutes, and finishing up in Saginaw. I was thinking about Debbie Stabenow. Well, you know what? She's going to have a new partner very soon. Because you recognize what's at stake here. The reason why I'm here. The reason why the vice president is here. And the reason the president is coming is because we know that we have to preach to the choir so that you will sing. So that you will sing. See, here's the thing. We have reached the limit of what we can do. I've gone to war. I've grown a business. The president has more accomplishments than can be listed on both sides of a sheet of paper. But now, if you don't sing, if you don't talk about the good news, if you don't talk about what we've done, if you don't talk about what's possible in the Republican Party, if you don't remind folks that the Republican Party is the party of emancipation, if you don't remind folks the Republican Party is the party of women's suffrage, if you don't remind folks that the Republican Party is the party of the civil rights movement, if you don't remind folks that the Republican Party is the party of criminal justice reform, if you don't remind folks that the Republican Party is now the party of tolerance, when the leftist Marxists are trying to push cancel culture on each and every single one of us, then no one's going to hear the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, it is up to you to sing. Our very democracy depends on it because we need to have people who understand what's at stake. Who do you trust with your constitutional rights? Who do you trust with your individual freedom? Who do you trust with your religious liberties? Who do you trust with your ability to speak out freely when conservatives are being censored? Who do you trust with your right to keep and bear arms? Who do you trust not to be dictated to? Who do you trust with your education and your businesses? Who do you trust with your family's future? You need to be able to trust your leadership. And right now, I don't trust Gary Peters. I don't trust Joe Biden. I don't trust the Democrat Party. But you know what? I trust you. And right now, we are hours away. We are hours away from the people regaining control of this state. I am grateful for the opportunity that you've given me to speak with you. I am grateful for the opportunity that you have given me to get to know you, to get to learn you. I'm grateful for the opportunity that you will give me to serve you. And I'm grateful to Almighty God for all the blessings that He's given us to protect. Lastly, baby, if you're listening, Lizzie, I love you. Thank you for your support. God bless you. I'll see you soon. Let's fly.
All right, good afternoon. If you're just joining us, we are live in Traverse City, Michigan, as we are wrapping up the 2020 election campaign. Hello, everybody. I am Brian Glenn alongside Adrian Ferguson as we get ready for yet another Donald Trump rally. And here we go. It's been a long election season, but it's come down to this, one day away from election.
Absolutely, and you can definitely tell that this crowd is a bit larger than some of the past rallies. And you know what? These people are taking part in history. They understand that this is one of the last rallies that the president will be hosting in this country. So of course, this crowd is huge. They're so excited to see our president, and so are we.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of 5 stops for the president today on this last leg of his campaign. He's stopping in a lot of crucial battleground states, and of course Michigan is one of them, Pennsylvania as well, down in Georgia, and of course this is key for him to win once again this state, and he won it by a very slim margin last time.
Absolutely. It's so important that these people are here today because we still have 2 days to vote, and a lot of people still haven't voted. So this is just a demonstration of their support, and it serves as an indicator of the support that we have for our president, and it's going to motivate more people to go to the polls and to support our president.
And we've seen a record number of turnout this year. Over 92 million people nationwide has voted either early or mail-in voting as well. In some states like North Carolina, which it really is concerned to me that we're going to a state that quite honestly votes could be counted after the election. I don't like that at all. The president doesn't like it at all. But nevertheless, that is what we're dealt with. And I think we both can agree that this president needs to have a solid turnout for this election because we want no discrepancies, no ifs, ands, or buts that he won the election.
Absolutely, and you know what we do? I expect a huge win from the president. However, we know regardless of the results, we will remain peaceful. We will not destroy our cities, and we know that the left, one way or another, will try to turn the results, try to blame the president, say it's a fraud, who knows, but we have to stand our ground, go out to vote, and make sure your vote is counted. So vote in person.
Absolutely. It's interesting how a lot of cities around the country are boarding up. Perhaps it looks like a hurricane is on its way, but they're boarding up in preparation of violence that could come after this election. And of course, a lot of Democrats are blaming the violence coming from conservatives and Republicans, which I don't know about you, Adrian, but the last time I checked, I didn't see any conservatives out in the streets throwing any rocks at buildings.
Absolutely. Yeah, as you can see in many of the Black Lives Matter protests.
Yeah, it looks like we got Air Force One. Just made a touchdown here. That's a pleasant surprise for us. You're taking a look at that. And as a president, it looks like the president is running just on time today.
Absolutely. So you can just see the crowd right now. They're whipping out their phones, they're cheering. They're so excited that our president has landed. But back to your previous comment, Brian, yes, for these previous protests, you know, they were run by leftists and they were destroying local businesses owned by Black-owned business owners who they claim to care about. And we know that if anyone's going to be violent, if anyone's going to start destroying local businesses, it's not going to be coming from the left because we have an appreciation for law and order. We have an appreciation for business owners. We will not retaliate in ways that they have in the past.
Absolutely. This election is all about freedom. It's all about your liberty. And of course, it is a vote against socialism. And that's exactly what's on the table right now. And of course, we want to thank our sponsors. We want to thank our partners. It's interesting that we're funded by viewers like you. We thank you so much for your support over the last 8-9 months, really, as we've been hitting the trail for that. So we appreciate all of the donations that's made this possible. Our partner for today, and this is one of my favorite ones,
Absolutely. With only days until the election, now's the time to prepare. And My Patriot Supply is back with a great offer for today only. Save $30 on their most popular one-week food kit. It comes in a super cool ammo can and contains breakfast, lunches, and dinners that last up to 25 years. But you can only get it when you go to this special site, prepare2020.com. Think about it. When an emergency strikes, what's your first impulse? Run to the grocery store? But in today's volatile world, you'll likely find chaos and empty shelves. Storing food in your home is a great way to protect your family in case of natural disasters or civil unrest, which we've seen too much of lately. If 2020 has taught us anything, it's this. Don't get caught unprepared. Make a plan today. Go to prepare2020.com and support this great sponsor who is bringing you today's rally. Prepare2020.com. Prepare2020.com. Again, that's prepare2020.com. Thank you.
Thank you. We absolutely love our partner for the day. And of course, the president is taxiing up to the area where he will get off the plane. And I would expect deliver this a lot of the bullet points he's been doing the last 8-9 months. The economy, his response to COVID, and of course that is a major concern. We've been in Michigan now 4 times, it seems like, in the last couple days, and we've noticed that a lot of businesses are shut down. A lot of businesses have takeout only with restaurants, and we've spoken to a lot of people here. They are ready to open this state back up.
Absolutely. We had an experience the other day when we were trying to get, some food and we couldn't. We had to order online and, there were so many people just waiting inside who had already ordered online. All these mandates, they're completely inefficient and people want to go back to work. The American people want to fulfill their American dream. They want to feel a sense of purpose in going to work. Being able to get that paycheck and put food on the table gives them a sense of purpose, and taking away people's livelihoods is unacceptable. And these people, they want to work, and that's why they're here supporting our president, because he's going to protect their jobs and he's going to send them back to work where they want to be.
Absolutely. And if you take a look at the polls, we've all can agree that the polls, we know what happened back in 2016. Hillary Clinton was heavily favored to win this election, and quite honestly, it almost seems like now these polls that we see that show maybe the president is trailing in some states. Adrian, we see it. Right Side Broadcasting, we see it. We see the crowds. We see the people. We see the enthusiasm for this president. I don't buy these poll numbers at all. I said this earlier on my social media, which, by the way, you can go to Brian Glenn TV. I said this. President Trump wins this big time. 324 electoral votes. I'm predicting. I think it's a landslide, but that's my opinion. I hope it comes true. What are you predicting for today?
Absolutely. I think, Trump has this in the bag. And you know what? I appreciate your comment earlier. We are out here all the time, and we see the supporters of the president. You will never, ever see thousands and thousands and thousands of patriots coming out in sub-degree weather to support their president. And you know what? There was just a rally mentioned earlier with Joe Biden. Only 75 cars. People won't even have the same charisma. But the president supports the American people, and they support him. And that's why they come out in these massive numbers. And you'll see these numbers shown in the polls after Election Day, after our president has won.
Absolutely. And of course, he'll touch upon the fact of fake news and getting the misinformation. That's one of the reasons why Right Side Broadcasting exists, to show you the shots right now, show you the motorcade coming in, show you the crowd, show you the enthusiasm for this president. And that is a part of the total story here of campaign 2020. As we saw him launch his re-election, we knew the ground support would be there. And if you look at all the accomplishments from this president over the last 4 years, no one can deny he has not worked for the American people.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's so great. Actually, it's beyond hypocritical when we go and see these debates between the president and Joe Biden. And it's so obvious how easily that, these leftist candidates want to deny Trump's accomplishments for this country. He's done so much for unemployment. He's done so much for the black community, the Hispanic community, and they know it. And yet they lie straight through their teeth, denying all of his accomplishments and never giving him the credit that he clearly deserves.
Absolutely. You've seen some really high-profile endorsements of their president. I'm not saying that endorsements necessarily can lean one side or the other, but I will say this. The Lady Gaga video that she put up, kind of mocking middle America, if you will, dressed in camouflage, like some kind of a hunter with a jacked-up truck behind it, drinking a beer and throws it on the ground. I think Lady Gaga single-handedly has handed Donald Trump the state of Pennsylvania based on that pandering, mocking, insulting video. What do you think?
Absolutely, and you know what? These celebrities, when they attend their award shows, they like to get up on that soapbox and pretend they understand the average American voter, and they'll preach to us about climate change, they'll preach to us about abortion, but you know, actions like hers, her mimicking and making fun of the average American patriot just shows how much they don't understand the American people, they don't understand the American experience, and they're completely anti-American overall. And I think that was a big mistake on her part. And you know what? The American people see right through it, and that's why that support for America is gonna grow, and that's why Michigan will certainly turn red, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Take a look at the crowd now. Everybody waving and excitement. There's a lot of right side broadcasting fans out there. And we want to say thank you because of guys like that and fans and kids and mom, dad, grandpas, grandmas. They've been really supportive over the years with us, and we certainly appreciate all that they do for us. And you know what? When this is said and done, we're doing a documentary right now, and I already know what my answer is going to be for people like that out there. It's because the feedback we get from the American people about the coverage that we're giving them, straight, unfiltered, uninterrupted coverage, that is incredible, and we are just so happy to be able to do it.
Absolutely, yeah, you can see these crowds, their faces, they're so excited to see our president. He's not even here yet, and they're so excited. And they have a deep appreciation for RSBN. As you can tell, they're waving at us, cheering for us. We love to be able to provide this content for you folks. We know not too many people, or really any other news organization, provides this live, constant coverage of the president. And we're so glad to provide this content from the horse's mouth to you, the average American voter, who might not have the opportunity to come out to every rally because, you know what, you're working. And we understand that. That's why we do what we do for you folks.
Absolutely. This morning at our hotel, I met two ladies that came here from California, and she said, you know what, we've never seen the president speak in person. We came all the way to northern Michigan where, you know, quite honestly, it's one of the coldest temperatures in the country right now. To stand out here in the cold, watch this president and watch him deliver the words of encouragement and inspire a nation to stand up and fight for freedom.
Absolutely. Joe Biden would never in a million years be able to inspire such a crowd to come see him. And that's why you see such desperate measures being taken for his campaign. In one of his upcoming rallies, it is anticipated that Lady Gaga and John Legend are to perform. Why? Because nobody wants to see Joe Biden give an extremely monotone, robotic speech, which is going to be completely anti-American. Nobody wants to hear that. That's why nobody's going to go out to see him. Perhaps if he has two famous celebrities, that's the only chance he'll have people to come out to support him. It's not for Joe Biden, it's to see celebrities, and that just demonstrates his lack of support and why people will not be voting for him.
Absolutely. And of course, earlier one of the speakers talked about the rallies that Biden and Harris have had in the last couple of weeks, and they really kind of scrambled. They have not been on the campaign trail actively at all. And of course, the Biden-Harris campaign have not done door knockings until September. So they were kind of late to the game. I think in a way they've taken for granted that they've got this election in the bag. And I don't know what poll they're watching or who they're listening to, but by the look of this, and folks, you're looking at all these people here. This is night after night after night for this president. And of course, this crowd here may be 3,000 to 4,000, but we've seen 15, 20, 25,000. You were at one the other night. That was incredible.
Absolutely, yes. And no, I was at the one in Minnesota, and the liberal governors there, they understand how strong a support base the president has. So much so that they had to put a max amount on the people who could attend. 250 people were allowed to attend because of the governor. And however, thousands and thousands of people still showed up despite not being granted access. They love our president so much. And, you know, that was really disheartening for the president that only 250 people could see him. So when he first landed off of Air Force One, he went to go see those people that were denied access. and he cares about the American voter. That's why he went to go see them, and that's why he's fighting for his country. He's showing you how our freedoms are being restricted. Our freedom to assemble, our freedom to have speech is being restricted now, and that's why President Trump is fighting for us. He's fighting to protect those freedoms.
Absolutely. And I've seen time and time again before this. Let's see if he's going to cut to the president right now. Nope, got more music. This is one of the things that you see quite often. Religious, shout out to religious faith. We're playing prayers. We're having, this is one of the things that he talks to the Christian evangelical voter. I think that's very important. But let's talk once again about our partner for the day, and we're so thankful for him.
Absolutely. With only days until the election, now is the time to prepare. And My Patriot Supply is back with a great offer for today only. Save $30 on their most popular one-week food kit. It comes in a super cool ammo can. It contains breakfasts, lunches, and dinners that last up to 25 years. But you can only get it when you go to the special site, prepare2020.com. Think about it. When emergency strikes, what's your first impulse? Run to the grocery store? But in today's volatile world, you'll likely find chaos and empty shelves. Storing food in your home is a great way to protect your family in case of natural disasters or civil unrest, which we have seen too much of lately. If 2020 has taught us anything, it's this. Don't get caught unprepared. Make a plan today. Go to prepare2020.com and support this great sponsor who's bringing in today's rally. That's prepare2020.com, prepare2020.com. Once again, that's prepare2020.com.
There you go. If you're just joining us, we are live in northern Michigan for perhaps one of the last campaign rallies we've had so far for the 2020 season. Of course, he's at 5 today. He's going to have 5 today when it's all said and done. He's going to end it later tonight at 10:30 in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and that's where he ended it last year, or the last campaign in 2016. We also want to go into our super chats real quickly and give some shout outs to some donors.
Absolutely. We received $49.99 from Jerry Lynn. So thank you so much, Jerry, for supporting our organization. We really appreciate it. We received $20 from George T. And he said, "We're the latest we've been waiting for. Stand tall and re-elect President Trump in person on November 3rd. Thank you so much, George. That really goes a long ways with us here at RSBN. We received $10 from Terry Malin, and he said Trump will win because he's bringing back God to Americans. Absolutely. Thank you. We received $24.99 from Mullman, so thank you for that. We received $24.99 from Rolling with DJ Adam. Thank you so much for that very generous gift. We received $20 from Holly Elliott, and she's using one of our emojis, so we love to see that. We received $9.99 from Yang Chi, so thank you so much. And we received €5 from Slow Musica, and she said Slovenia for Trump, Melania 4 more years. Absolutely. Thank you guys so much, and keep sending donations, so we'll read them off for you, and send comments in the chat. Also, you can find me on Instagram at AdrienFerguson_. For those of you asking, it's AdrienneFerguson_. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. It's been a long election season, and I'm going to step up on my soapbox right now for you and say a few words. Look, we have been told this president is racist. We've been told this president is bigoted. We've been told this president is doing a horrible job in this, that, and everything else on the table. This president has been criticized for his response for COVID. This president has been criticized for his foreign policy, his domestic policy. But you know what? They have been wrong. You have the opportunity tomorrow to send this president back in the White House for 4 more years. It's up to you. So whatever the fake news has been telling you, whatever the narrative has been against this president, you have the ultimate decision tomorrow to vote, and I expect a huge red wave coming across this country.
Absolutely. You know what? I understand some folks' concerns in the previous elections, but now with the past 3.5 years of all the accomplishments of Donald Trump, the people who were undecided before, it's beyond clear why they should vote him this year. Unemployment rates at an all-time low. Employment rates for the Black community, Hispanic community, women are surging like never before. And, there's more money going back in people's pockets because of Trump's tax cuts. There's no reason we shouldn't support this president. And the American people, I've seen what he's done for them. They feel it every day, either in their pockets or in their schools. In every facet of life, Trump has improved the American American way, and that's why he's going to win.
Absolutely, and I expect this president to touch upon the economics of his plan, to look back at what has happened in the stock market, historical highs in the stock market, historical lows in unemployment. So I expect the president to touch upon all that. He's also going to talk about his response to coronavirus and how he shut down the country. He shut down travel from China. And he's going to talk about how Biden, Harris, and all the others, Democrats, ultimately, called him xenophobic and racist for shutting down travel. But yet he saved a lot of lives by doing that.
Absolutely, and people keep mentioning or the candidates keep saying, oh, I would have done this, or I would have done this. However, their words spoke louder than their actions. Like Joe Biden said, it was xenophobic for Trump to restrict travel from certain countries, which it wasn't, by the way. However, him simply saying that demonstrates that he would have let the country open and coronavirus deaths would have surged much, much higher under his rule.
And I think the lockdowns that the Democrats have really pushed for, and if you look at the two messages from both camps here, Biden-Harris is very doom and gloom, dark winter, shut down. It's really a dark story. They're pushing fear. Trump is pushing positivity, opening up the economy, fighting the virus, getting our lives back to work. And so I just look at a Biden-Harris voter right now and go, is that what you want? Is that your ideology? Is that your level of happiness in this world? Is that you want to live in fear?
Absolutely, and I think one of the main denominators creating that difference is an appreciation for freedom and what it costs to get that freedom. Biden and Harris, not only do they not have an appreciation for freedom, they want to restrict it. They want to take away your guns, they want to take your freedom of speech, your right to assemble, and your right to go to church. And we're the complete opposite. President Trump wants you to choose how you want to live your life. He wants you to be able to go to work. He wants you to be able to practice in your churches. And you know what? That's why the policies are so different. There is a stark difference in how they view freedom in this country. And that's why the policies of the Biden-Harris campaign will destroy America because they hate America.
Absolutely. You've seen the two sides of this campaign. Biden rarely taking questions from reporters, and when it comes Trump loves to tangle himself up with reporters. I think that's why the American people like him. I actually think that's why the media secretly loves him, because they give him content to really work off of, vice versa. But this president does not back down to anything. And once again, you're going to hear a lot of that message tonight about getting the country energized and ready for 4 more years. And of course, who knows after that? We've had this conversation, like what happens after another 4 years? Who then steps up to the plate? That person, we may know them, or we may not even heard of them. That's how the political war works.
Right, absolutely. If I had to make a prediction, I'd say even Mike Pence might make a run for the presidency, and I think he'd be a phenomenal candidate after displaying his knowledge of the law and his appreciation for American values after his debate with Kamala Harris. So, or you know what? It might even be one of Trump's sons or Ivanka Trump. They'd all make excellent candidates. So, that's a big question mark. However, I know that we have a great variety to choose from under the Trump family, or just Mike Pence in general. So I have hope for the next 4 years after Trump's 4 years.
There you go. And of course, we all pray that we know the results of his election tomorrow night. We hope that's the case. But as you've got some states that have extended the deadline for mail-in voting, and they said they're going to count them perhaps 3 days after the election, we may not know who the president is from this election. And of course, both sides are lawyered up to go to the courts and fight for what's constitutionally right in this election. Look, if it was up to me and I was a president, there would be the votes are counted on November 3rd. That's the day, just like, any other election. That's the day you do it. There's no wiggle room here, folks. There's no discrepancies. And I think that's how you weed out any potential problems.
Absolutely, and you know what? The left is clearly supporting these late mail-in ballots to be accepted past November 3rd because it, provides that wiggle room to, provide, perhaps some cheat votes to support their candidate of choice, and that's completely unacceptable. That just shows their deceit, and I completely agree with you. November 3rd should be the cutoff, and then Republicans are going out to vote in person, and that's how it should be. That's how it's been for decades. and I understand the COVID crisis right now. However, if you take the precautions you need, you're safe to go. This should not be the way it is now.
Absolutely. We've seen over 92 million votes already cast in this country, which is historically high. And so who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? I would imagine wherever you're at, get out and vote early, do it, and go home, watch the results on TV, tune in to Right Side Broadcasting, as we're going to have some type of stream, hopefully, to be able to relay that information to you. But we're watching history, folks, and there's never been this country's at a crucial point where we're going to go to socialism, or we're going to stand for what is right and what our founding fathers laid out for this great nation.
Absolutely. This is history in the making. This is, I believe, the second to last rally that this president will ever have before being reelected. And so that's such an amazing opportunity for these people to witness such a great event. So that explains why this crowd is so huge and why they're so anxious to see our president. This is an incredible moment.
Absolutely. And of course, Adrian and I have been popping around the country like most of our staff here at Right Side Broadcasting. The long days, a lot of flights, a lot of hotels, a lot of long hours. But let me tell you something. There is no better place. I'd rather be standing right here on this risers on November 2nd, getting ready to watch this president come out and deliver yet another inspiring speech. And you're taking a look at some of the crowd there. And, it's cold. I will say this, Adrian, it's not as cold as yesterday. Now, granted, if you live in northern Michigan, this is probably considered summer right now. For us, it's deep winter. To them, it's summer.
Absolutely. Yes. It was so cold yesterday. A few times I had to go into a nearby building and just get some heat on. And I was just sitting down and taking a brief break, and this woman comes and she's like, "Can I get anything off my back and give it to you? I'm a huge supporter of RSBN." And I was like, no, don't worry about it. And she's like, "We love what you do. And this is clearly a demonstration of how hard you work for us. And you know what? It's all worth it. Standing in the cold for hours is so worth it to bring this quality content to you folks at home, to amplify the voice of our president after knowing he's been shut down by practically every news source, and they don't give him the credit he deserves. We're so happy, and we're more than willing to provide this content, even if it means standing out in the cold for hours. It's all worth it, and we do it for you folks in this country.
Absolutely. You can go to rsbnetwork.com/donate, rsbnetwork.com/donate to donate to the network so we can continue to bring you coverage. But if you're just now joining us, we are live in northern Michigan for, campaign stop. I think this is the third stop today, right? I think he's got two more after this. He's concluding it tonight in Grand Rapids at 10:30 start time for that rally, and that will be his last one of the 2020 campaign. Of course, remember, back in 2016, he also ended that campaign in Grand Rapids. So kind of a historical place here in Michigan. A lot is at stake here. I think we have 16 electoral votes up to grab in the state, and he only won it last time by maybe 10,000 votes.
Absolutely. Like all states, but this state especially is so important just because of the number of electoral votes it offers for this election. And you know what? I have high hopes for this state and, the country in general. This will be a red state. They've seen what Trump has done for the local communities, their jobs, and he cares about the average voter. And these people understand that because of what he's implemented for them. And I think Michigan is going to go red this year, no doubt.
Absolutely. You've seen some chatter about Texas going blue and being a resident of Dallas, Texas, McKinney, Texas. I don't buy that for 1 second that Texas is going to go red, or blue rather. All right, let's give a shout out to our partner one last time before the president takes the stage. And I love them, and I think there's something right now, especially in this day and age, we should all do.
Absolutely. With only days until the election, now's the time to prepare. And My Patriot Supply is back with a great offer for today only. Save $30 on the most popular one-week food kit. It comes in a super cool ammo can. It contains breakfast, lunches, and dinners that last up to 25 years. But you can only get it when you go to a special site, prepare2020.com. Think about it. When an emergency strikes, what's your first impulse? Run to the grocery store? But in today's volatile world, you'll likely find...
Ladies and gentlemen, Vice President and Second Lady of the United States, Mike Pence and Karen Pence.
let me tell you now. I took her home to my place, watching every move on her face. She said, look, what's your game, baby? Are you trying to...
Well, hello, Michigan. Man, oh man, do you all look great? Are you ready? It is great to be with y'all. Congressman Bergman, Congressman Molinar, GOP Chair Laura Cox, John James, and all of you have been with us every step of the way. It is great to be back in the Great Lakes State. One more day to 4 more years. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you for that wonderful warm welcome. He's going to be here in about 40 minutes. But would you all join me in just thanking a few people? First and foremost, she's a Marine Corps mom. She's been a champion for military families. She's a school teacher at a little Christian school. She's been my wife for 35 years. Would you join me in thanking the greatest second lady of the United States that we've ever had, my wife, Karen Pence. Thank you. But Karen and I are here for one reason and one reason only. And that is that Michigan and America need 4 more years of President Donald Trump in the White House. It's on, Michigan, and the road to victory goes right through the Great Lakes State. We need the people of this freedom-loving state to do just what you did in 2016. By tomorrow night, we need Michigan to show America that this is Trump country. But it really is great to be with y'all. It really is great. Also, it's great to be here with some good friends of mine and of the president's. In fact, one of whom is the highest-ranking combat veteran ever to serve in the Congress of the United States. Now he's one of the strongest voices for our national defense. Join me in thanking Congressman Jack Bergman, will you? Thank you, Jack. It's also great to be here with a man who has served the people of Michigan in the State House, and I've served alongside him, and I can tell you he is one of the strongest allies of our president and our agenda in the United States Congress, Congressman John Molinar. And let me say what a privilege it is to be here with a man that I got to know over the last couple of years. He's a man of integrity. He's a family man, a West Point graduate, a combat veteran, a businessman, and the next senator from the great state of Michigan, John James. Well, thank you all for being here. I know you're out today to hear and see our president show your support, but I also know you're here because of all that we accomplished together over the last 4 years. I mean, think about it. 4 years ago, we inherited a military that was hollowed out by devastating budget cuts, an economy struggling to break out of the slowest recovery since the Great Depression. Terrorism was on the rise, and we witnessed a steady assault on our values. But in 3 short years, we rebuilt our military. We revived our economy. We secured our border, supported law enforcement, and stood for life, liberty, and the Constitution of the United States. You know, after Joe Biden spent the previous 8 years trying to tax and spend and bail our way back to a growing economy, President Donald Trump created the greatest economy in American history. And we're doing it again, Michigan. I mean, how about those new GDP numbers last week? Did you check that out? 33% growth in the third quarter shattered any previous record. The great American comeback is on. And with 4 more years of President Donald Trump in the White House, we're going to bring this economy back bigger and better than ever before. You know, the president said it was the biggest quarter in the history of our country, not even close. And he and I both know this American comeback is a testament to all of you, to the resilience and the strength and the character of the American people. But it's also a tribute to a president and our allies in Congress who created the greatest economy the world has ever seen. That's why it's remarkable to think, in the midst of a global pandemic, Joe Biden wants to raise taxes by $4 trillion. His running mate, Kamala Harris, said on Friday that their, quote, first order of business would be to get rid of President Trump's tax cuts. They got a $2 trillion Green New Deal. They want to put socialized medicine in the heart of Obamacare, risk the health insurance of 180 million Americans. But under President Donald Trump, in 3 short years, we cut taxes across the board for working families and businesses. We rolled back more federal red tape than any administration in history. We fought for free and fair trade, unleashed American energy, and businesses large and small created 7 million good-paying jobs, including 112,000 jobs right here in Michigan. It's true. You know, when Joe Biden was vice president, America actually lost 200,000 manufacturing jobs. It's amazing. You know, I come from south of here in Indiana. And just like Michigan, you know, we do 2 things well around here. We make things and we grow things, right? And we're proud of it. But the last president, who I heard is out campaigning today, 4 years ago, he said those jobs were never coming back. He actually said, what magic wand do you have? Well, we didn't need a magic wand. We just needed President Donald Trump in the White House. 500,000 manufacturing jobs created in just 3 years. And when it comes to trade, so important to what we make and what we grow. Joe Biden's been a cheerleader for communist China all along the way. And he never lifted a finger to reform a trade deal with Mexico and Canada that literally cost thousands of factories to close across this country. But under President Trump, we put China on notice. We imposed tariffs and made it clear the era of economic surrender is over, and NAFTA is gone, and the USMCA is here to stay. You know, and Joe Biden's running mate, I had a debate with her in Salt Lake City a couple of weeks ago. Some people think we did all right, so thank you. But I brought this up in the debate because you deserve to know Kamala Harris was one of only 10 senators to vote against the USMCA. She said it didn't go far enough on climate change. I mean, Kamala Harris put her radical environmental agenda ahead of Michigan jobs and Michigan workers. And I'll make you a promise. With 4 more years, President Trump will always put American jobs and American workers first. And I'll tell you, it's just as clear on energy. I mean, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris want to crush the American economy under a $2 trillion version of the Green New Deal. Remember that first debate? The president had to remind Joe Biden that he supported the Green New Deal. He does. I mean, the Green New Deal, I'm telling you, it would actually raise the cost of electricity in your home and raise the cost of electricity in every business in Michigan. President Trump, he's been a champion for American energy. We ended the war on coal. We've opened up our natural resources, and we're now a net exporter of energy for the first time in 70 years. It's true. But worse still, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, over the last year, said over and over again that they want to abolish fossil fuels and ban fracking. I mean, that would cost hundreds of thousands of direct jobs across the heartland. They said it over and over again. And then Joe Biden shows up in Pittsburgh. I wasn't far from there today, a couple of weeks back, and he's trying to convince people in Pennsylvania that he's not for banning fracking. He actually said our president was lying about his record, remember? Even in that presidential debate. And how good did President Trump do in that presidential debate, am I right? Out of the park. Still going, right? Well, in that presidential debate, you saw the moment where Joe Biden said that we needed to, quote, transition from the oil industry. President Trump said, that's a big statement, right? And then when the president called him on it, he said, show the tape. So we've been showing the tape. And I bet when the president gets here, he's going to show you the tape again. Men and women of Michigan, no matter what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are saying right now, you can take it to the bank. Joe Biden and the Democratic Party are going to try and abolish fossil fuels, close down the oil industry, ban fracking, but we're not going to let it happen. We're going to have more fracking, more American energy, more energy independence for this generation and for generations to come when we re-elect President Donald Trump for 4 more years. I mean, honestly, here's the choice America faces. It's a choice between a Trump boom and a Biden depression. I mean, a study just came out, nonpartisan study, that said Joe Biden's economic policies would cost 5 million American jobs. And it would reduce the average income of American families by $6,500 a year. So when you go home tonight, if you run into anybody tonight or any time on Election Day who hasn't made a decision yet in Michigan, here's what you got to ask them. Seriously. Just look at them and say, who do you really think can bring this economy all the way back? I mean, a career politician who spent 47 years raising taxes, stifling the economy with regulation and economic surrender, or a proven job creator who's overseeing the fastest economic recovery in history. To bring America all the way back, we need 4 more years of President Donald Trump in the White House. So it's about our economy. But we all know that security is the foundation of our prosperity. And I couldn't be more proud to serve alongside a president who cares so deeply about the men and women of our armed forces and their families. You might not know we've got some service members in our immediate family. My son's a United States Marine. And my unworthy son-in-law is a United States Navy pilot currently deployed with the United States Navy. They couldn't be with us tonight, but I couldn't be more proud that that Navy spouse, my wonderful daughter, Charlotte Pence Bond, is traveling with her mom and dad today. Would you say hi to her? So proud of them. But you deserve to know when Joe Biden was vice president, we went through years of reckless budget cuts, didn't we, John? I mean, that hollowed out our military readiness. And over the last few days, I read where Democrats in Washington are already saying that they're planning They're planning massive cuts to our national defense to pay for their big government programs. President Trump, we rebuild our military. This president has signed the largest investment in our national defense since the days of Ronald Reagan. And with 4 more years, we're going to keep giving our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guard the resources and the support they need to defend our nation. And it's not just been about those who serve in uniform, it's been about those of you who did serve. You know, when Joe Biden was vice president, we remember the scandals at the VA that shocked the conscience of the nation, don't we? I mean, we had veterans that were literally dying waiting for care at the VA on waiting lists. But when President Trump came into the Oval Office, those days are over. Our president has signed the most sweeping reforms of the VA in 50 years. We fired 3,000 VA employees who weren't giving our veterans the care they deserve. The VA now has a 91% approval rating, and Veterans Choice is now available for every veteran in America. And for our national defense, to support our veterans, for peace through strength, is just one more reason why we need a combat veteran in the United States Senate. We need John James in the Senate from the great state of Michigan. And when it comes to law and order, President Donald Trump has stood with the men and women who serve on the thin blue line of law enforcement every single day. I mean, you all know what the president and I know. The men and women who put on the uniform of law enforcement in this country are some of the best people in America, and they deserve the respect of every American every day. After the summer of violence that we've seen, after the rioting and looting that we saw in Philadelphia this week, the truth is Joe Biden would double down on the policies that are leading to violence in our cities. Now, Joe Biden says that America is, in his words, systemically racist. He says that law enforcement has an implicit bias against minorities. When Joe Biden was asked whether he'd cut funding for law enforcement, he replied, yes, absolutely. And his running mate, Kamala Harris, recently praised the LA mayor for cutting $150 million out of the LAPD's budget. Under President Donald Trump, I'll make you a promise. We're not going to defund the police. Not now, not ever. We're going to back the blue, and we're going to back the blue for 4 more years. You know, the president and I know we don't have to choose between supporting law enforcement and supporting our African-American neighbors and families and other minorities in our cities. We've done both for the last 3.5 years, and we're going to keep doing both. We're going to support law enforcement with more resources and more training, and we're going to keep creating jobs and opportunity and educational choice options for African-Americans and all the families that live in our major cities. And we're going to have law and order for every American of every race and creed and color, so help us God. And all along the way, under this president's leadership, we've stood for all the liberties and freedoms enshrined in our founding documents, like the freedom of religion, the freedom of speech. And President Donald Trump has stood strong for the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. We've appointed more than 220 conservative judges to our federal courts at every level, and I promise you, they're all conservatives who will uphold the God-given liberties enshrined in our Constitution, like Justice Neil Gorsuch, Justice Brett Kavanaugh, and just like Justice Amy Coney Barrett. Isn't she great? Isn't she great? How much did you like that when they asked her what she had on that piece of paper in front of her? Nothing. She's going to be an amazing jurist for generations to come, and she's going to make America proud. But you all deserve to know, when Joe Biden was vice president, we saw a steady assault on our religious freedom. We did. They used the power of the bureaucratic state to erode the conscience rights of doctors and nurses. They even hauled a group of Catholic nuns into federal court to force them to compromise their faith to live under the mandates of Obamacare. It's true. When Judge Amy Coney Barrett was up for a different court 2 years ago, that same religious intolerance among the Democrats in Washington came out. The leading Democrat on the Judiciary Committee said she was concerned about Judge Barrett's Catholic faith because she said, and I quote, "The dogma lives loudly within you." And Hollywood elites started attacking Judge Barrett, and they've never stopped. Well, I got a message for the Democrats in Washington and their friends in Hollywood. False alarm. I got a message for the Democrats in Washington and their friends in Hollywood. That dogma lives loudly in me. That dogma lives loudly in you. And the right to live and work and worship according to the dictates of our faith lives loudly in the Constitution of the United States of America. And under President Donald Trump, we've stood for that first freedom, religious freedom, strong. We restored the conscience rights of doctors and nurses, and it was President Donald Trump who ended the assault on the little sisters of the poor, and the Supreme Court made it permanent. And finally, where Joe Biden and Kamala Harris support taxpayer funding of abortion, all the way up to the moment of birth, I couldn't be more proud to be vice president to a president who stands without apology for the sanctity of human life. So in our first 3 years, we rebuilt our military, we revived our economy, we stood for law and order, liberties, and life. None of that would have been possible without the strong support of Michigan's Republicans in Congress. So right after you re-elect President Donald Trump, right after you send John James to the United States Senate, we all need Michigan to send Congressman Jack Bergman and Congressman John Molinar to a new Republican majority and retire Nancy Pelosi once and for all. Out. I'm telling you. Out. You know, when you look at what we were able to accomplish, all of us, with the support of the people of Michigan, in that historic election 4 years ago, I think there's only one way you can describe it. In 3 short years, we made America great again. And then 2020 arrived, as President Trump led our nation through the worst global pandemic in a century. And all along the way, President Donald Trump put the health of America first. It's true. Before the first documented case of community spread, President Trump did what no American president had ever done in history. He closed off all travel from China, the second largest economy in the world. Now, Joe Biden at the time said that was xenophobic, which is, I guess, a fancy word for racist. He said closing off travel during a global pandemic would actually, quote, make things worse. But Joe Biden got it wrong, and President Donald Trump got it right. I can tell you, as the head of the White House Coronavirus Task Force these last 8 months, President Trump's action, shutting off travel to China, saved untold American lives because it bought us invaluable time to stand up the greatest national mobilization since World War II. It's true. We reinvented testing. We saw to the manufacture and production, including here in Michigan, of billions of supplies of medical equipment and PPE. We developed therapeutics that are saving lives, and we are literally a short time away from having the first safe coronavirus vaccine in tens of millions of doses for the American people. And I promise you, people of Michigan can be confident. We're going to keep making sure those supplies are available to the great doctors and nurses. We're going to keep protecting the vulnerable. We're going to keep saving lives and distribute a vaccine. And we are opening up America again. It's amazing to think in the last 5 months, on that foundation we poured, and with the unprecedented relief for families and businesses the President secured from Congress, after losing 22 million jobs at the height of this pandemic, we've already seen 11.5 million people go back to work, including 600,000 people right here in Michigan. We're opening up America, and Michigan is roaring back. But you all deserve to know, Joe Biden is talking about shutting down our economy again. It's true. If you saw the newspapers the last couple of days, several European countries are already talking about shutting down. So you can bet that Joe Biden will lock down the American economy if he makes it to the White House. All the schools will be closed, all your churches, synagogues, places of worship, businesses will all be shuttered again. I mean, right at the moment that the American economy is getting back on its feet, Joe Biden said this summer he would shut it down. Well, Joe Biden says we're in for a long, dark winter. But under President Donald Trump, we're going to defeat the virus, and the best is yet to come. You know, the choice in this election has never been clearer. The stakes have never been higher. When you look at their agenda of higher taxes, open borders, socialized medicine, a Green New Deal, defunding the police, abortion on demand, it's clear. And Joe Biden would be nothing more than a Trojan horse for the radical left. I don't know if you've seen it in the news, but Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren are already angling for cabinet posts. You know, Joe Biden said that democracy is on the ballot tomorrow. Well, I think our economic recovery is on the ballot. I think law and order are on the ballot. But I also think there are things far more foundational to our country that are on the ballot as well. Men and women of Michigan, in this election, I think it's not going to be so much whether America ends up more Republican or more Democrat, more liberal or more conservative, more red or more blue. The choice in this election is whether America remains America. Whether we're going to chart a future with President Donald Trump, build on our American heritage of faith and family and patriotism and freedom, or whether we're going to let Joe Biden and the Democratic Party surrender our country to the radical left, shut down our economy, topple our heritage and our values and our freedom in an avalanche of socialism and decline. So let me say from my heart to all of my friends here in Michigan, for all the ideals and values that have always made this country unique and exceptional, for our very freedom, bequeathed to us by generations of Americans, we need to decide right here and right now that Joe Biden will never be President of the United States We're going to re-elect President Donald Trump for 4 more years. Ladies and gentlemen, I've gotten to know this president over the last 4 years. Some people think we're a little bit different. But actually, we've gotten to be very close friends. We spend time together every day, or we speak every day, and I can tell you, President Donald Trump is the real deal. He's a man who says what he means and means what he says. He never quits. He never backs down, and he has never stopped fighting to keep the promises that he made to the American people. Now it's our turn to fight for him. It's our turn to fight for 4 more years of President Donald Trump in the White House. 4 more years means more jobs. 4 more years means more judges. 4 more years means some more support for our troops. And it's going to take at least 4 more years to drain that swamp. So before he gets here, I got a couple things to ask you to do. Number 1, before the polls close tomorrow, we need you to vote Michigan, vote to re-elect President Donald Trump for 4 more years. The time for speeches is almost over. The time for voting is coming up. So tomorrow morning, I'm told the polls open 7 a.m., open till 8 p.m. here in Michigan. And remember, friends don't let friends vote alone. Bring a family member, bring a neighbor, bring a coworker, and vote to re-elect President Donald Trump to the White House. And secondly, after you vote with a friend, I need you to go find somebody to talk to about this election. I mean, Michigan always plays an outsized role in presidential politics, and that'll be especially true this year. And the choice that Michigan makes is literally going to be a choice that sets our nation on one path or another for generations to come. So you just need to tell them about the stakes in this election. Tell them about the progress we made, the way this president's led us through this challenging year, the way we rebuilt our military, revived our economy, the way America is coming back, and tell them about the choice. And tell them why. You know, the president and I were on a news show a week ago Sunday. 60 Minutes, it was, you know, yeah, right. So, but there was a great moment. So the president got asked a question, his answer, I'll just never forget. The reporter looks at him and she says, thinking about all of you, she said, so how would you describe your supporters? And without hesitation, the president answered the question. She said, how would you describe your supporters? And he said, they are people who love our country. So go find a neighbor, tell them you love America, and tell them we need 4 more years of President Donald Trump in the White House. And finally, I just encourage you in all that remains between now and when the polls close, just to have faith. Have faith in America when you speak to your neighbors and friends. You know, I think you study American history. Every time the American people have given a clear choice between a future of more freedom and less freedom, they choose freedom every time. Have faith in the boundless capacity of the American people to overcome any challenge. And finally, have faith that he who planted this miracle of democracy on this wilderness shores will see us through these challenging times. to bring us through stronger and better than ever before. There's a verse that's been over the mantle of our home for 20 years since we first stepped forward to serve in public life. And they're ancient words that Americans have long clung to, and our little family does. They simply say, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. Have faith and pray for America." And I just know, if all of us do all we need to do between now and when the polls close at 8 o'clock here in Michigan tomorrow, with your continued support and your prayers, we're going to have a great victory all across Michigan and all across America. And with Congressman Jack Bergman and Congressman John Molinar in that new Republican majority in the House, with John James in a larger Republican majority in the United States Senate, with President Donald Trump back in the White House for 4 more years, and with God's help, we're going to make Michigan and America more prosperous than ever before. We're going to make Michigan and America safer than ever before. We're going to make Michigan and America more united than ever before. And with your support, together, we will make America great again. Again. Thank you all very much. God bless you. God bless America. Now let's go get it done, Michigan.
So that was kind of a surprise, Adrian, having the vice president step up. It's the first time that I've actually seen him at one of these rallies. And hey, that was some inspirational words from the vice president. Of course, he really hammered home a lot of the topics that the president will talk about later today.
Absolutely. And one of my most favorite comments that Mike Pence just gave was mentioning the 60-minute interview with President Trump, which is more like an interrogation, but you know, President Trump handled the heat. And I love Donald Trump's response to how he described his supporters. And he said, people that love this country. And that is so palpable here today. You can tell the crowd with their gear, the USA gear. We support the police. We support our military gear. These people truly love America, just like our president.
And just like Vice President Mike Pence has always said before, he's a man of faith, and he's called out to all of us to pray for tomorrow. And of course, you know, if you look at the news, there's a lot of potential chaos can come after this election. So, well, we just had, there we go, Air Force One. Let's step aside. That's another surprise here on the show today. But it looks like the president just landing here at facility, and now we're probably moments away. But my goodness, take a look at that backdrop right now. I don't know if Brad's got a nice tight shot of that, but we have an amazing sunset here in northern Michigan. It is absolutely beautiful, and I love it how the monitor here says the best is yet to come. We just had Air Force One land here. My goodness, it does not get any better than this on a November 2nd. And as Mike Pence said before, you know, wake up tomorrow, hit the polls. They open at 7 a.m. here in Michigan. They close at 8 o'clock, and he's encouraging everybody to bring a friend, get a coworker, get a neighbor, and go to the polls.
Absolutely. I completely second your remarks, and Mike Pence's as well. Bring someone with you. It can be intimidating, you know, as a Trump supporter, because we receive so much hate. And even if people don't know who you're voting for, bring someone with you. That support system is great, and you will just feel that extra motivation, and it'll surely make the line seem less long when you're waiting to support our president when you vote for him at the polls tomorrow or tonight.
There you go. And let's go ahead and thank our sponsor, our partner for the day, rather. And I love this particular partner.
Sure. With only days until the election, now's the time to prepare with My Patriot Supply. You can save $30 on their most popular one-week food kit. It comes in a super cool ammo can and contains breakfast, lunches, and dinners that last up to 25 years. Well, you can only get it when you go to the special site, prepare2020.com. Think about it. When an emergency strikes, what's your first impulse? Run to the grocery store? But in today's volatile world, you'll likely find chaos and empty shelves. Storing food in your home is a great way to protect your family in case of natural disasters or civil unrest, which is something we've seen much too of too lately. If 2020 has taught us anything, it's don't get caught unprepared. Make a plan today. Go to prepare2020.com and support this great sponsor who is bringing you today's rally. That's prepare2020.com. Prepare2020.com. Once again, that's prepare2020.com.
There you go. We appreciate our partner getting involved in this broadcast. And of course, we appreciate you as well. You can go to rsbnetwork.com/donate, rsbnetwork.com/donate, as we appreciate all the donations throughout this campaign season. What a beautiful sunset. What a beautiful backdrop we have here today. It's been a long election season. It's come down to this. It's come down to a couple of key swing states, Michigan being one of them, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, and of course the president is doing his best to hit all of them between yesterday and today, and he's making his last campaign stop here for 2020 down in Grand Rapids, the very same place he did that back in 2016.
Sure, and we just want to give a quick shout out to a lot of our donors. We received $4.99 from Chair Blakemanship, and he said, "God bless America," and President Trump Pence. Absolutely, thank you so much for your very generous gift. We just received €5 from Slow Musica, so thank you so much for that. We received $20.20 from Monica King, so thank you so much, Monica. We received $5 from Chick Mouse Vintage on Etsy, so thank you so much for your very generous gift. We received $20 from Brandon Camacho, and he said, "Keep up the great work, RSBN. President Trump for the win, jobs, opportunity." Absolutely, these are things the president supports. He supports your jobs, your right to work, and the opportunity to choose. And yeah, keep sending questions in the chat. My name's Adrienne Ferguson. I'm on social media on Instagram. That's ADRIENNEFERGUSON_. Adrienne Ferguson _ on Instagram, so you can reach out to me. Ask me anything you want. We can talk politics. And I'm going to keep reading from our donors. We got word that Hamish K is now a Lincoln Club member, so welcome to the club. And I'm going to hand it back to Brian. Or actually, we just got a couple more donations. We received $20.20 from Philip Turner, and he said, "Indiana Veterans for Trump. Good job, Adrienne and crew. Thank you. We appreciate all your support." We received $5 from Miss Tastewood, and he or she said, "We love our state of Michigan, but not our governor." Absolutely. Your governor is completely ridiculous. We had our own altercation in a restaurant we weren't allowed to sit in, and that's completely unacceptable. The science isn't supporting those mandates. Once you sit down at the table, you're allowed to take your mask off, but you have to wear it throughout the restaurant, which is completely illogical, and
It was, and actually, a lot of businesses that we went to, it seemed like they were depressed. Was it just me? It seemed like everybody was really down at the fact they couldn't really open the way they should be. And then we did see a lot of businesses that were quite honestly closed.
Absolutely. A lot of folks, they enter this business world because they love interacting with their customers. They love being able to have a decent conversation with them, looking at their smile, becoming closer than 6 feet, and them not being able to do those things that motivate them to wake up in the morning like they had before COVID is completely irrational for the governor to have these mandates. Business owners can't stand them from our observations here in Michigan, and they're just completely nonsensical. Like I mentioned earlier, you can be in a business and you have to wear a mask, but the second you sit down at a restaurant table, you take it off. So are you now immune to COVID? The science doesn't support those mandates and those rules. And the American people want to get back to their days of working like normal people. They don't want to wear these masks at certain times and then having to put them on when they're done eating. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. However, all these people here, they are so excited to see our president. They're anxiously awaiting. They have all their phones out. They're taking pictures, and they have patriotic gear, I might add. My favorite hat say, "Where's Hunter?" They want to know where Hunter is. We all have that same burning question. I'm going to keep reading from the chat. We received $5 from Papa9 Data, and he said, "God bless." Absolutely. Thank you for your prayers. We received $4.99 from Ocean's Daughter, and she said, "Maine for Trump. So we're glad to have people joining us from Maine. We received $4.99 from Ronald Dick, so thank you so much, Ronald. We received $10 from Alcom Turson, and he's using our emojis, so keep using those. We really love watching them. They're super cute and fun to look at. We received $5 from Kurt Valenta, so thank you so much, Kurt, for supporting us. We received 20 euros from Steve Thompson, and he said, "You do brilliant work bringing the rallies to the world. All the best from England." Absolutely. We love that we're able to provide content that is able to reach international waters and international patriots. So thank you for joining us. We received $5 from Mark S. and he said, "God bless President Trump and Vice President Pence. Good work, RSBN." Absolutely. We love that we're able to provide, the words straight from Vice President Mike Pence and President Donald Trump's mouth right to you folks at home. And we received $10 from Camila Zapolsky, and she said, "Thank you, RSBN North Carolina, for Trump 2020. Read all the way." Absolutely. Thank you so much for that very generous donation. We received $4.99 from Stranzelator. He said, President Trump can do all things through Christ who strengthens him." Absolutely. That's one of my favorite Bible verses. We love Christians for Trump, so thank you for your very kind words and for your generous donation. We received $10 from Pixley, and she said, "Your channel is the only one that shows the crowd, so you have my support." Absolutely. We love showing the crowds. They motivate us to keep working, and they motivate, the president, and you can just, you get motivated yourself when you see their charisma, and they're cheering and they're dancing. There's nothing like it on the planet. The president motivates these people. He makes them happy because he's fighting for them. We received $19.99 from Kirk and Kelly, so thank you so much, Kirk and Kelly. We received $5 from Nikki McCooley, so thank you, Nikki, for that very generous gift. We received $11 from James Wolf, and he said, "Love you, RSBN. We love you too. Thank you for the support." We received $5 from David Castillo, and he said, "Navy SEALs for Trump. He has exposed corrupt media." Absolutely. First of all, thank you for your support, David, and that comment is 100% true. He definitely exposes the media who is constantly against him, so thank you so much for your support. We received $5 from Darnation, so thank you so much for supporting us. We received $25 from Angie Lowry, and she said, "Alabama for Trump. Thank you for getting the truth out to the people. Excellent job." Thank you, Angie. My little sister has that name, but I might add your profile picture. It looks great. You are beautiful. We received $9.99 from Rolling with DJ Adam TV. He said, "Right Side Broadcasting is on the top of my Twitter page, Right Side Broadcasting Network number." Absolutely. We love that you support us so much. We received $5 from Luke Billingsley, and he said, "Here's Farmer Bucks from Australia. We all need this to work." Absolutely. We love our friends from Australia. And we received €5 from Steve Tierney, and he said, "Best wishes, Trump 2020. Absolutely. We love Trump. We received €5 from Super Sandra, and she said, "Everything created by God agrees with Trump Pence 2020. Love from UK." Thank you for that. We received $19.99 from Ocean's Daughter, and she's using our membership emoji, so thank you. We received €10 from Ricardo Weening, and he said, "Netherlands for Trump. Thank you, RSBN. Keep up the good work." Absolutely, we will. We received $5 from Chill Bill, and he said, "I love RSBN," and Adrian. So, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I love all of our patriots who are watching us from home as well, so thank you. We received $6.99 from Linda Clark Lee, and she said, "Canada for Trump. God bless the USA." We received $5 from Jordan Taylor, and I'll get back to you on that question. I'm not quite sure, Jordan, but thank you for your support. We received $5 from Dennis Rojas, so thank you so much for supporting us. We received $10 from Modified State of the Hood's Information Department. Thank you so much. We received €5 from Paul, so thank you so much, Paul. We received $49.99 from Jack Mehoff, so thank you so much, Jack, for supporting us with your generous donation. We received $19.99 from CB, and he said, "Keep it up, Trump 2020, let's do this." So thank you for that. We received $24.99 from Rolling with DJ Adam TV. Thank you so much for that very generous gift. I noticed you've donated multiple times already, so that is so sweet of you. We really appreciate it, and you've got our attention. We received $5 and as she decides that Baltimore, Maryland supports Trump and Pence. Absolutely, thank you so much. We received $50 from Playford Dunham, and they said, hashtag Trump 2020, Pennsylvania House, love our POTUS. We do too. Thank you so much for supporting us with your donation. We received $5 from the AG 1975, so thank you so much. We got $19.99 from Richard Powers. He said, Right Side Broadcasting is the best, go Trump. Absolutely. We received $11.03 from Pedro Rodriguez. He said, Latinos for Trump, that's for Trump, end this pandemic, November 4th. Trump 2020, absolutely. My mother's from Guatemala, so I myself am a Latina for Trump, 100%. He has a strong Hispanic support here where I'm from, and certainly in Michigan, from what I can tell, and all over the country. So I love your comment. We received $19.90 from Mr. H, so thank you so much, Mr. H, for that. We received $50 from Sandra Hooper, so thank you so much, Sandra, for giving us that very generous gift. We received $20 from Jerry Battinger, so thank you so much, Jerry, for supporting our news network. We received $20 from David Cowitz, and he said you're amazing with our emojis, so thank you so much, David. We received $10 from Sovin781, and they said thank you for the content. The first thing I do when I wake up is look at your channel, Trump 2020. Thank you so much for that. We received $100 from Kenneth Hufford. Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Kenneth. That is amazing. Thank you so much. You're so generous. We received $4.99 from Garrison Team, so thank you so much, Garrison. We received $5 from Conquest Josh, and he said, God bless you, God bless Trump, and God bless America. And a couple people are asking me who I am. My name's Adrienne Ferguson. I'm from Ohio, and I think this is my 6th or 5th rally. And you know, I love interacting with you folks in the chat, and you can reach out to me at Adrienne Ferguson _ on Instagram. That's Adrienne Ferguson _ That's ADRIENNE FERGUSON _ on Instagram. So thank you. And then we received $6.99 from David McDonald. He said Canada for Trump, drain the swamp. Absolutely. Trump is definitely doing that, and he will continue to do that in another 4 years. We received $5 with Jody Williams, so thank you, Jody. We received $7.77 from Ian McLean, and he said Las Vegas for Trump, so thank you so much all the way from Las Vegas. We received $24.99 from Ann Fairchild, so thank you so much, Ann, for supporting our news organization. We certainly wouldn't be able to do what we are doing without your generous support. And we received $4.99 from Orlando Hernandez, and he said, Hispanos votan por Trump. Exactly. Thank you. We love our Latinos for Trump community, from which I'm a part of, so thank you. And if you're Latinos for Trump, I'm curious where you're from. My mother's from Guatemala, my dad's from the United States, but I'm half, so let me know. I'm curious. We received $9.99 from Railfax X, and it looks like our president.
United States of America, President Donald J. Trump.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. I want every day. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Thank you. Oh, wow. This is a big crowd. We have a lot of big crowds, but this is a big crowd. This is great. Thank you very much. And hello, Traverse City. And hello, Michigan. We want the same result as we had 4 years ago from Michigan, right? And we fulfilled all our promises. You have auto plants, so many. You didn't have one in 42 years, and now you have 17 and going up, and they're going so fast, I don't know. Nobody's complaining, I can tell you that. But we want that same result. We're going to get out and vote because tomorrow we are going to win the state, and we are going to win 4 more years in the White House. And I want to thank you to our great Vice President, Mike Pence. He works so hard. I will take him over Kamala every day of the week. We will take Mike. He's great. He's great. He's done a great job. He works very hard. And he had a good debate. Didn't he have a good debate against Kamala? With your vote, we will continue to cut your taxes, cut regulations, support our police, support our great military, protect our Second Amendment, defend religious liberty, and ensure more products are proudly stamped with that beautiful term, made in the USA, right? Made in the USA. Next year will be the greatest economic year in the history of our country. You know, you had a great year last year, the year before, 3 great years, the best you've ever had, and you're going to have the best year you ever had next year. We're all set. You saw what happened under my leadership. Our economy is now growing at the fastest rate ever recorded, 33.1%. You saw that on Friday. We created a record 11.4 million jobs in the last 5 months. That's a record. While foreign nations are in a free fall, sadly in a free fall. You look at what's happening with Europe and other places, very sad. We are creating an economic powerhouse unrivaled anywhere in the world. You look at our numbers, look at the auto numbers, look at what's happening with that business and so many other businesses in this country, but that business because we happen to be in a place that likes automobiles, right? A recent Gallup poll just came out, found that 56% of Americans say they are better off today than they were 4 years ago under Obama and Biden. And that's during a pandemic, and we're rounding the corner. And you got to open your states. You got to open your state. Open it up, Governor. Open it up, Governor. Right? Open it up, Governor. Got to open it up. If Biden and Harris and the radical left gain power, they will collapse our economy and send our nation into a very steep depression. They want to raise taxes at a level that nobody's ever heard of before. Biden will raise your taxes over $4 trillion. Man, it's not him. Do you think it's him? He doesn't have a clue. He has no clue. But that's okay. Let's assume he does. We have to win, so that's it. Can't do that to our country. Our country has too much unbelievable potential, actually. Massively increasing your regulations, shutting down your economy. They're going to close down your factories, send your jobs overseas to China and other places. I don't think so. Destroy the suburbs. Are you happy in the suburbs that I ended the regulation that was going to destroy the suburbs? That has been destroying the suburbs. The women of the suburbs, they love me, I think, but you know, the fake news says they don't, but I think they do. They love their home, they love their house. They don't want a development put next to their house. They want their house the way it is. They want to have their beautiful house and they want to have security and they want to have safety. I think they like Trump. I really do. That happened the last time. That happened 4 years ago. Remember, they said women will not vote for Donald Trump at that time. Women will not. And then at the end of the evening when they're all crying, they say, women, what happened? The women came out, right? Well, women, the women liked us. That's nice. Well, I like the women, I will tell you. I think the women are great. You notice we don't even talk about the men with suburbia. We let you guys be alone. They want to dissolve your borders, maybe rip down the wall. They were talking about that. Let's take down the wall. You know, we have our strongest border right now, and the wall is almost complete. Mexico is paying for the wall, by the way, but it's almost complete. Terminate religious liberty, outlaw private health care. 180 million people. They want to take it away, go to socialized medicine. I don't think so. You've worked hard for that. You have some of the greatest health care in the world. You've worked hard for it. They want to take it away. 180 million private plans. Take it away. Now, if you feel a little bad or if you want a checkup, you go to a hospital, you wait online for about 6 weeks, and you get yourself checked out. If they say you have a problem, they can't do anything about it. That's called socialized medicine. Confiscate your guns, Second Amendment, and indoctrinate your children with anti-American lies. And just a little while ago on the beautiful Air Force One, how does it look? Let me see. Oh, you don't see it. By the way, how about the sky? Wow, so beautiful. Let's just look at the sky for a little while. I wish we had time, right? I wish we had time. So, I've made, we'll do 5 today, 5 of these. All with love, all with big crowds, all with love. It's incredible. Somebody said I actually do 6 today because we finished up last night in Miami at 1:30 in the morning. So, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. That's very nice. Don't make me cry. Don't make me cry. You know, if I started to cry, they'd have a big story. They'd say, the president broke down and cried. And I don't know if that's good for us. Probably could. Maybe it brings me up 4 or 5 points, I promise, huh? I don't care. But that's really nice. You know, it's never been said before. They say that's never been. We've liked Ronald Reagan. We've liked a lot. But they say that's the love. We love you. Think of it when you think about it, right? No, it's an incredible thing. We've worked hard. We've gotten you everything we said. We've done the things we said. We've done the things we said. We got you the biggest tax cut in history, the biggest regulation cut in history. We've rebuilt our military. Our vets just gave us a 91% approval rating on what we've done for them. We've got you Space Force, and you'll be making a lot of this stuff right here in Michigan. Space Force is the first time in 74 years since Air Force. Think of that, right? A whole new force. I just signed an executive order on Air Force One to teach our students pro-American values. It's a good thing with all the things that I've been watching that have been taking place over a pretty long period of time, even before Obama and Sleepy Joe. Biden has vowed to abolish the American oil and natural gas industries and to ban fracking. Look, he said it. He campaigned for over a year. We will ban fracking. We will ban fracking. We will ban fracking. Then he goes to Pennsylvania. And they say, well, you know, his people told him he didn't have any idea what they meant, but it was okay. He listens to them. They said, listen, you have to be in favor of fracking now. He said, okay, no problem. Why? I only said it about 200 times during debates, right? So now he goes into Pennsylvania, where we just left. Great people, by the way. You talk about, that was an unbelievably enthusiastic group of people. We're going to win Pennsylvania. We're going to win Michigan, too. We're going to win. We're going to win Pennsylvania. We won Pennsylvania last time, too. We won this one. We won. This one hadn't been won for many, many years. And Pennsylvania, the same thing. It wouldn't. But then Trump came along. We won them both. We beat Crooked Hillary. Crooked Hillary. Now we have a guy that makes Hillary look like a baby. No, we've had a good time. And until the China plague came along, everything was good. We closed it down. We saved 2 million lives. Now we're opening it up. We had the greatest economy we've ever had. See the hat, all the Make America Great Again. Now we're having it Make America Great Again, you know. And our country was coming together. You know, the other side was calling. Everybody was successful. Best numbers for unemployment, African American, Hispanic American. And by the way, do you see what's going on in Florida? African American, the numbers are phenomenal. Hispanic American, the numbers are beyond belief. They got problems. You notice I haven't been talking too much about Florida for the last 6 or 7 hours. They're not liking what they see. Wow, that is a lot of people. Look, you can't even see. Why don't you take the cameras down there? You can't even see the end. I hope you can hear us down there. It's like 2 football fields away. I hope you can hear us. That's great. Well, that's really good. But no, Florida's looking great. You're looking great. Came out 2 or 3 up. I don't know why 2 or 3 up. You know, am I supposed to be happy with 3 up over this guy? I tell you. But you know what? Let's just put the win in the column. We won't even talk about it. But you're looking great. North Carolina, great. Iowa came out. The big poll came out yesterday. You saw it. And we were a lot up. Big up. Well, the farmers like me, you know. I got, for the farmers, $28 billion. I got $28 billion from China. Thank you very much, China. Thank you. Because they targeted the farmers. They targeted the farmers, and I said to Sonny Perdue, Secretary of Agriculture, Sonny, how much? He said, well, 2 years ago it was 12, and last year was 16 billion, 12 billion, a total of 28 billion. And I tariffed China. We took the 28 billion, we had a lot of money left over, into the Treasury, and we gave it to the farmers, and the farmers are not complaining. I'll tell you, they're in business. They would have been out of business. Biden's energy ban will send every state into crushing poverty from, and you know this, you know what they're doing, from Michigan to Wisconsin to Arizona, where we're leading very nicely, thank you, and to Pennsylvania. As long as I'm president, we will remain the #1 producer of oil and natural gas on earth. And we will remain energy independent. We're energy independent for the first time. First time. That means we don't have to call people up in faraway places and say, we need some oil, please. We'll send our armies over there to protect you and help you. But we do have great allies over there. We'll help them. And we've certainly helped Israel, but we have a lot of good people over there. We'll help them. But we don't need their oil. It's nice not to need. We have more oil than they do now. You know, we have actually more oil than they do. We're the largest in the world. Isn't that a nice feeling? Sleepy Joe, and that would not have happened except for what we've done over the last 3.5 years. There's never been an administration or president, there's never been an administration that has done in the first 3.5 years what we've done. Never, and not even close. With all the things we've done. And the fake news never even questions it. I've been saying it for a long time. They don't even question it because they can't. Joe Biden is a globalist who spent 47 years outsourcing your jobs, opening your borders, and sacrificing American blood and treasure in endless, ridiculous foreign wars. Countries you never even heard of. A vote for Biden is a vote to extinguish and eradicate your state's auto industry. You don't like that, do you? I don't think so. You know, he was going to do the TPP. He was going to do different things that would have been so bad for you. I ended it all. He was a cheerleader for NAFTA, which was the worst trade deal ever made, probably by any country, that sent all your auto jobs. You know, they have 32% of our auto jobs, right? And it's probably the #1 reason I ran for president. And in fact, I was in Michigan. I don't know if anybody remembers this. 12 years ago, they gave me the Man of the Year. You remember? And I had I made a speech and I said, why are you letting, it's not my business, but I said, why are you letting them steal your auto jobs? They're all going down to Mexico. And by the way, plenty go to Canada too, right? People don't know that. And it was a terrible thing that took place, but we've stopped that. And now the USMCA makes it very, very financially difficult for them to do that. It was very important to me. And everybody said, we'll never be able to do it. We'll never be able to end NAFTA. And you know why? Because it was so good for Canada and so good for Mexico, and they have a lot of power. But we ended it, and they're not that happy, but they're happy enough, and we have a great deal. And we have people, I'll tell you, Mexico, we've had a great relationship with Mexico. Canada is a little difficult to deal with, to be honest with you. You know, oh, Canada. We all love oh, Canada, right? I love that. They stand for their national anthem, and we have to stand too, because, you saw the ratings on the NBA down 71% for their championship. You know why? Because people don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. They want to see a basketball game. Obviously not too much, but I didn't watch it, and a lot of people didn't watch it. And the NFL has to be very careful. They tried that game 2 years ago, and I thought we taught them a lesson. And they have to be very careful. We have to respect our flag, we have to respect our anthem, and we have to respect our country. Sleepy Joe supported China's entry into the WTO. Michigan lost half of all auto manufacturing jobs after those Biden betrayals. He also supported the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which would have been the death sentence for the U.S. auto industry. I canceled TPP, I ended the NAFTA disaster, and I took the toughest action ever taken against China. We never took in 10 cents on China. I've taken in billions and billions of dollars over the last 2 years. Joe Biden is a corrupt politician. They don't want to write about it. They don't want to write about it. They're not allowed to write about it. Their bosses, whoever their bosses may be, they're not allowed to write about it. Who sold out Michigan to China? He sold you out. That's one of the reasons when they send over a car, they charge us 35% tax. We charge them nothing. But those days are changed. We changed it. We changed it. And it's going to change a lot more if you give us another 4 years, that I can tell you. We were just beginning. And not only with China, with everyone else that takes advantage of our country. Thank you very much. No, but with everybody else it takes it. It's not only China, it's everybody. We renegotiated the South Korea deal, you know that. That was a deal. Crooked Hillary made that deal. It was going to give 250,000 jobs. She was talking, this will produce 250,000 jobs. They signed it, and she ended up being correct. But the 250,000 jobs all went to South Korea, not to us. That was standard. That was standard. Biden is the living embodiment of the decrepit and depraved political class that got rich, bleeding America dry. And you know what happened. Look, there haven't been too many states that have been affected like you've been affected. You got seriously affected. That's what we're doing. We're doing it. We're doing it. But when I ran, you never told me it was going to be that deep, that vicious, that rough. It's a deep sucker. I thought we'd knock it out fast. We went through 3.5 years of hell, and here we are, and they're not too happy, and they're reeling. They're reeling. They're going to be knocked off very soon. They're going to be all knocked off very soon. No, we've done a good job, but it wasn't easy. You get impeached over a telephone call that was perfect. Perfect call. Perfect call. Congratulations on your victory, Ukraine. President of Ukraine, nice man. Never met him before. Congratulations. Sir, could you call up and congratulate the president of Ukraine? Sure. What happened? Oh, he just won. Okay, good. So I gave him a call. I avoided it for a long time because it was a lot, busy. Call up and they say, let's impeach him. I'll tell you. And we had great support from the Republican Party. I have to say that 197 to nothing in the House. 52.5 to 1/2. You know what the half was? That's right. We had 52.5 to 1/2. Mitt Romney. He still doesn't know why. He's saying, let's see, why did I do that? He wished he didn't do it, I'll tell you that. In 2016, Michigan voted to fire this corrupt political establishment, and you elected an outsider as president who finally put America first. And if I don't sound like a typical Washington politician, it's because I'm not a politician. Probably wouldn't be here if I were. And if I don't always play by the rules of Washington and the Washington establishment, it's because I was elected to fight for you, and I fight harder and harder and harder, and better than anyone's ever fought for you. We were brought here, we were put here to fight for you. I had a very easy life before this, I have to tell you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I had a very easy life. I had a different kind of a life. And you know what? I wouldn't have changed that decision when I said, First Lady, let's do it. You're going to be First Lady. She was actually one of the people. She said, are you sure you want to do this? First Lady. People love the First Lady. They do. They love her. She's good. She's elegant, and she puts up with a lot from these people, It's like unbelievable. But she said, but are you sure you want to do this? I say, I think I do. Yeah, I think I do. She said, you know you will win if you do it. You must be sure. And I said, you think so? I said, you think so, really? She said, no, you will win, definitely. But the question is, do you want to do it? I said, yeah, we do. We have to set this nation back on the right course. No, she said that. I'll never forget that. It was sort of cool. It's just like second nature. You'll win. We're running against a lot of very talented people. And then we had to run against a very talented, crooked machine. Joe Biden is bought and paid for by big tech, big media, and powerful special interests. You saw that over the last couple of weeks. All the corruption, and they refuse to even talk about it. Could you imagine if I got $3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow's way? Or one of my kids took $3.5 million from, can you imagine that? And they refuse to even discuss it. They don't want to discuss it. There is no proof. They now say the laptop from hell was produced by Russia. This was Schiff, Watermelon Head, right? The laptop was produced by Russia. And we say, oh, no, not again. No, John Ratcliffe came out immediately. He's great. He's doing a great job. He said it was not produced by Russia. So. But that's what they try and do. They do disinformation. They're the biggest disinformation group, I'll tell you. They own him. They control Biden. And they know he will always do whatever they want. They know that. That's why they want him. I definitely don't do what they want. I definitely don't. Except I do one thing. I get them good ratings. Can you imagine if they don't have me? Let's say they had Biden. Their ratings will collapse. Every one of them will be out of business. They'll be out of business so fast. Every corrupt they will be out of business so fast. In fact, I think they're going to get together. The New York Times will die. The failing New York Times. Washington Post, which is basically a lobbyist for Bezos, you know that. But they'll all get together and they'll say, listen, we made a big mistake here. We got to draft Trump. We got to get him to run again. This is no good. We're dying. Nobody cares. Can you imagine that, having Biden? We're going to put something up. Can you imagine having Biden as your president? The biggest loser will be the fake news media. That will be so boring. You know, their ratings are through the roof. Everything's through the roof. The NFL is doing very badly. You know why? Everyone's watching politics because they find politics to be much rougher than the NFL. It's much dirtier and more disgusting, and they don't change. You know, the NFL, they change the rules. They make everything like coming back. You can't touch anybody. Somebody tackles too hard. They say 15-yard penalty and you're out of the game and you're out for the season. You know, in the old days, right? It was a little different, but it's still tough. But this is much tougher. And people see it. But you have to see the ratings. That's why the ratings are bad for a lot of the sports. Nobody ever thought of this, but I thought of it. A couple of people wrote it. The ratings are bad because so many people are watching this. It's tougher. It's true. But they're going to be calling for us. Please, please run again. We think we're going to endorse you. I got endorsed by the Pittsburgh, right? Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. I got endorsed first time since 1972 that they endorsed, right? That's a big deal. A big newspaper, very good, very liberal newspaper, but that's okay. But first time since 1972 that they endorsed a Republican, so it's an honor. And if you don't read the first 2 or 3 paragraphs, it was one of the best endorsements. Yes, we don't like him. Yes, he has a horrible personality. But listen to this. It's not that I do, but I have been under siege illegally for 3.5 years. I've been fighting for 3.5 years. And I said to somebody today, I wonder what it would be like if the fake Russia hoax and all this crap with the impeachment over nothing, over a phone call that was perfect. That was perfect. I wonder what it would be like if we didn't have all of this horrible stuff, and if it didn't, you know, we'd have a very calm situation, and maybe I'd be less popular. I don't know. Maybe I'd be less popular because you know what? The fact is, people see that we fight. We're fighting for you, but it's just a really dirty, horrible business. But I said today, because they were saying they don't like the personality and he's always fighting. I'm fighting to survive. You have to survive. Very few people would have survived. They would have been in the corner. They would have said, Mommy, Mommy, put their finger in the mouth, put their thumb in the mouth and say, Mommy, Mommy, take me home. I'm out of here. Get me the hell out of here, Mom. They'd say, forget about the American people. Mommy, I want out of here right now. No, we can't do that, but you have to fight hard, and then you fight hard, and you hit them back, and then they say, there's chaos in the White House. They cause the chaos. We have a great group of people. We have a lot of them here tonight, great people in the White House. But it's true. I wonder if it would have been different, you know, if they didn't, because these were all, we caught them spying on our campaign. We caught them trying to take out a duly elected president of the United States. That's treason. That's treason. We caught them. And someday, maybe something's going to be done about it, too, you know? Maybe. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. They can't. We don't want to do anything prior to the election. Well, what about me? They did it. They did it to me before they spied on my campaign before the election. We shouldn't do anything prior to the election. And you know who we caught? Barack Hussein Obama and Sleepy Joe Biden. They were a part of it. We ought to get these reports out. They should get them out before the election, as far as I'm concerned. They should get them out right before the election. Should have gotten them out a long time ago. We have information you wouldn't even believe it. I don't even get involved. I always said I'm going to stay uninvolved. Very hard for me to do, I'll tell you. No, it is, because, you know, I didn't have to do that. I thought it'd be the right thing. And yet they did the Mueller report, right? The phony Mueller report. 18 angry Democrats, smart. 18 angry, vicious, many of them worked for Hillary Clinton. 18 angry Democrats. They spent $48 million. And at the end of 2.5 years, no collusion, okay? A friend of mine said, you have to be the most innocent man in the world. And they checked everything. They checked taxes. They checked. For $48 million, you check taxes, right? And by the way, we announced, you know, I prepaid millions and millions of dollars in taxes. They didn't say that. They refused to say. They say, well, prepaying isn't paying. I said, no, it's prepaying. That's even worse. Millions of dollars, many millions of dollars. And that'll all come out. Every correct. And you know, when you look at it, when you look at what's going on, seriously, think of that. Just think about that tonight when you're with your family. I wonder if it would have been different. I wonder if it would have been a different kind of a feel. And you know what? Honestly, maybe it wouldn't have been as good. Maybe we wouldn't have these massive crowds, because you see what somebody is where we're under siege, and you people get it. You're smarter than them. You're smarter than these people. You get it. And you've always gotten it. It's a beautiful thing, and I'll never forget it. I want to tell you, I'm never going to forget it. But we were under siege, and we caught them, and it's treason or whatever you want to call it. But with Sleepy Joe Biden, they don't want to write anything. We caught the whole thing. The son, where's Hunter? Where's Hunter? The son was like a human vacuum cleaner. He'd go in and follow his father. Let's go to China today, son. They fly in on Air Force Two, right? I guarantee you one thing, Mike Pence, I know his kids, they don't do that. They don't do that. They're unbelievable kids, military. But you know, let's go to China today, Dad. I'd like to follow you. It's like, walks out with $1.5 billion fees on, oh, he must be a great investor. You know, the greatest investors don't make that deal with China. China doesn't do that. They don't give money out for other people that are less smart than them to invest. Let's give our money to somebody that's not very smart to invest, okay? That's a great idea. He walked out. It only took him 10 minutes to get it to $1.5 billion. That's millions of dollars in fees. The big one was the 10 million. You saw that one, the letter. He wants 10 million a year for introductory purposes. Okay, 10 million. But it all blew up. By that time, the laptop from hell was found. The one that Schiff said was developed in Russia. It's unbelievable. And then you have Ukraine. He goes into Ukraine. His father was in charge of Ukraine, right? He was in charge of Russia, Ukraine, China specifically. He goes into Ukraine. $183,000 a month. Do you have energy experience? It's an energy, right? Burisma. Do you have energy experience? No, I don't. I don't know anything about energy. Well, we'll pay you $183,000 a month, and we'll give you an upfront fee of approximately $3 million. Would that be satisfactory? No, think of it. No, think of it. And there are other things too. Then he's got the brother, and he's got a whole. This is a corrupt enterprise. And then they had the big man gets 10%. The big man. Who's the big? He's not a big man to me. To me, he's a very meek, fragile. He's a fragile person, and he's very agitated. I watch him today. He gets more time on Fox. I've never seen anybody on Fox so much. Him, they have everybody on Fox. They have all enemies on Fox. I think it's crazy. But he gets a lot of time on Fox. But he's so agitated. And now he comes out with the aviator glasses, but they're a little too small. They should be. He wants to look like Tom Cruise from a long time ago. No, but he's fragile. He's not going to be there. That's not what they're counting on. They're counting on somebody else. They're counting on by far the most liberal person in the Senate, Kamala. They like her. They like Kamala. Every corrupt force in American life that betrayed you and hurt you is supporting Joe Biden. The failed establishment that started the disastrous foreign wars, they support Biden. The career politicians that offshored your industries and decimated your auto plants, and you suffered for many, many years. I'm telling you, that's why I'm here, I think, primarily. That was the first thing, trade. I said, how could they do that? They supported Biden. The open borders lobbyists that killed our fellow citizens with illegal drugs and gangs and crime that poured into our country, they support Biden. They still do. The anti-American radicals defaming our noble history, heritage, and heroes, they support Biden. They support him. They support Sleepy Joe. And you know, I signed a law that you take down any of our statues, any of our monuments, you go to jail for 10 years. It's amazing the way it seemed to have stopped, isn't it? It's really amazing. Somebody said, oh, it just stopped. No, it didn't just stop. I took an old law and reactivated it, because a new law, you go into this with this bunch with Nancy Pelosi and crying Chuck Schumer. You know what they'll do? They'll give you a medal if you rip down the statues. Antifa and the rioters, looters, Marxists, and left-wing extremists, they all support Joe Biden. This election comes down to a simple choice. Do you want to be ruled by the corrupt and selfish political class, or do you want to be governed by the American people yourselves? You're going to govern the way it was supposed to be. A vote for Biden is a vote to give control of government over to the globalists and the communists, socialists, and wealthy liberal hypocrites who want to silence, cancel, and punish you. Cancel culture, they call it. Cancel culture. No, thank you. We want to be proud of our history. Good, bad, whatever. We want our history. We want to know, and we want to learn from our history. We don't want our history canceled. We want to learn. There's things we have to learn from our history, too. If you want your children to be safe, if you want your values to be respected, if you want to be treated with honor, dignity, and respect, then I am asking you to go tomorrow and vote for a person named President Trump. Gotta win Michigan. This is a big, important place. If we win Michigan, it's over. It's over. We win the whole thing. 4 more years, and then we can finish the job we started so well. We can finish the job. You know, I got nominated. No, I say it because they don't write it. I just heard today, I thought it was 3. I got 4. 4 Nobel Peace Prizes. Can you believe it? 1 for the Middle East. 1 for Kosovo, Serbia. I mean, they want to make a trade deal. They're each fighting each other for many decades. They're fighting, killing each other. You've read it. I mean, for years, they're just automatic, killing each other for many, many decades. And we're doing these trade deals with them, not big deals, but they want them very badly. We're doing them. And they're each doing them. And I said to the people, I said, listen, we're doing deals. They want to make the deal with us. Everybody wants to make a deal with us. I said, they're killing each other, I think, right? They're killing each other. I read about it. They're killing each other for decades. Tell them we're not making a deal unless they get together and make a peace. And we told that to them. We're not interested in doing deals unless you guys can get along and not kill each other. You know, it's human lives. We don't know where it is. You don't know where it is. Some people have never heard of the places, but they're places and they're people. They're human beings. And I said, tell them we're going to do it, but you have to make peace. And we got them together. We made peace. And they actually nominated me for Nobel Peace Prize. I got 4 nominations and 4 unrelated things. That's crazy, right? And I told the story, you probably heard about it. The first one I went up, Middle East. You know, the Middle East is coming along, got no blood in the sand, no nothing. The Middle East is great. Signed already 3 countries. We have 7, 8, 9 countries. They could all sign. I said, how did Obama do it? And they told me, I said, good, we'll do it the opposite. But not only Obama, for many, many years they haven't been able to do it, and I'd like to finish that up too. We need a little more time, you know. We need a little bit more time, but we have countries lined up. No money and no blood in the sand. No blood in the sand. Remember what I said 4 years ago. I am your voice, and I will make America great again. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Together, we will defeat the corrupt establishment. We will dethrone the failed political class. We will drain the Washington swamp, and we will save the American dream for your children, for your grandchildren. This election is also a choice between a deadly Biden lockdown or a safe vaccine. The vaccine is coming along great. Couple of weeks, it's going to be out soon. That ends the pandemic. And it will end anyway. They hate it when I say we're rounding the corner. It's going to end anyway, but the vaccine will make it go a lot quicker. And what we've done with therapeutics is incredible. Excuse me, here I am. But I like to say, no. I like to say it had no impact on me. I didn't really need it. They just happened to give it to me because I'm a perfect physical specimen that's very young. I'm very young and in perfect physical shape. No, but it's amazing what we've been able to do is incredible, really incredible. We will mass distribute the vaccine in just a few weeks, and it will quickly eradicate this virus. We're going to start off very much with, we've learned about it with our senior citizens, especially if they have a condition, a heart condition, they have some problem, any kind of a problem, boy, it's vicious. That's the ones it really goes after. But we're going to protect our great senior citizens first, and then it'll go very quickly throughout for anybody that wants it. It won't be enforced. It's not going to be enforced. For people that want it, and we'll get it done, and it'll all take place, and very quickly. And by the way, nobody else would have been able to do what we did. Nobody else would have been able to do what we did. Joe Biden, he handled the swine flu as one of the great catastrophes. He was a mess. His own chief of staff said we had no idea what the hell we were doing. I don't know why this guy admitted that. I can't figure out why he admitted it. Probably before Joe thought he could ever run. Joe thought his career was over because he wasn't thinking straight. Then he ran, and Elizabeth Warren said, I want to stay until the end and take out Bernie. She took out Bernie. And we're running against Joe instead of Bernie. And Bernie's going to run again, though, in another 4 years. He's going to run again. One thing about that guy, he never gives up, does he? But he's a hell of a loser. I mean, he loses the first time. And he goes back. He's like, no hard feelings. He loses the second time horribly, the way they took it. The Democrats took advantage of Bernie Sanders and everybody that he represents. But they're looking to take over Joe. They signed, they agreed to the manifesto, I call it. You have to see what's in that one. Joe Biden is promising to delay the vaccine and turn America into a prison state. That's what he wants. Locking you in your home while letting the far left rioters, so the rioters and the looters, the anarchists, Antifa, they can go knock the hell out of you, roam your streets, set your stores on fire. No problem. That's called protesting. We must protect our protesters. But you're not allowed to go to church. You're not allowed to have dinner, right? The only one allowed to have dinner in this state is the husband of your governor. He's the only one that's got special privileges. That was not a good day when he got caught boating or whatever the hell it was. Who are you? I'm the husband of the governor. The police didn't go for that one too well, did they? No, that wasn't a great day. No, you got to open up your state, Governor. Open it up, Governor. Let the kids go back to school. Let the kids go back to school. It's like Barron Trump, right? They said, First Lady had it, I had it. They said, sir, you tested positive. First Lady didn't come to see us a little while later. They said, sir, Barron, White House doctor, great doctor, Sean. Sir, Barron just tested positive. I said, tested positive for what? For corona. It sounds like, I like the China virus, or I like the plague from China, but a lot of people use it it sounds like an island in Italy. I said, it's not corona, but just tested positive for corona. I said, well, I don't like that. That's not good. Barrett, he's strong. He's very tall. He's only 14 years old. He's very tall, I can tell. Hi, Barrett. And he's a good boy, but he just tested positive. And I said, wow. Then about 12 minutes later, I see the doctor. Doctor, how's Barrett doing? Oh, it's okay. He's fine now. It took him about 12 seconds to get rid of it. Because they're young and they have a strong immune system. No, he got better so fast. And you know what I say? Let the kids go to school. And you're not going to hear that from the other side. They want to lock it up. The Biden lockdown will mean no school, no graduations, no weddings, no Thanksgivings, no Easter, no Christmas, no 4th of July, no future for the youth. Other than that, it's going to be a great life. No, you got to let the kids go to school. Get going. Open up your state. It's time. And, we got to take care of our seniors. We have to take care of people. We understand it. We have to do things. But let the kids go back. This is a lockdown. This is a shutdown. Of course, probably on a date like November 4th, they'll announce, well, we're going to decide to open up, right? Did you see the one head of the union said, yeah, we want the teachers to go back to work on November 4th. That was not a good move. She announced, we want the teachers to go back on November 4th. Yeah, I wonder why that day. Despite that, we had the best numbers. Look, we have states that are locked down, closed down. New York is having a hard time. I'll tell you, they don't know what the hell they're doing. Great place. I left it 3.5 years ago. I loved it, and it's very sad what's happening to New York. A very, very sad thing in Chicago. Look at Chicago. It's very sad. All run by Democrats, by the way. I want to just emphasize. How about Portland with the anarchists, right? With Antifa, and they're Antifa anarchists. But how about Portland? We could solve that problem in 25 minutes like we did. You know, we went into Seattle. We were ready to go in. We were all set to go in. And we told them we're going in tomorrow morning. And the night before, they said, okay, well, we're leaving now. That could have been done a long time ago if they asked us. We have to be asked. And we did a great job in Minnesota. We're going to win Minnesota for two reasons. We're going to win Minnesota. First time since 1972, we're going to win Minnesota. You know why? Number one is Ilhan Omar. The fact that she's there. No, but she loves our country very much, right? She has a great, deep, and abiding love for our country. And the other one, boy, the hatred is just crazy. How do we put up with this stuff, right? I mean, the hatred. But she's number one reason, and maybe number two is the fact that the National Guard did one hell of a job in Minneapolis. Now, they should have called us. They should have called a week and a half earlier. It would have been nice. You wouldn't have had the fires raging behind the anchors that said, this is a friendly protest, and behind the anchor, the whole looked like the world was burning down. This is a friendly protest, see, because they don't report the truth. A vote for Biden is a vote for lockdowns, layoffs, and misery. You got to just get out of this. We can't play games. Our country has such incredible potential. We can't let this happen. This country will never be a socialist nation, okay? And that's what they want to do. If you want a vaccine to kill the virus, a job to support your family, and freedom to live the great, great life that you've always wanted to have, then go cast your ballot tomorrow for your all-time favorite president, I hope, Donald Trump. And remember that Secretary of Defense Robert Gates, a respected guy, he worked with Biden, he said Biden has been wrong on nearly every single major foreign policy and national security issue over the past 4 decades. Other than that, he spoke very well of him. But you don't have to believe me. You don't have to even listen to me because it happens to be Michigan. We spent a hell of a lot of money on that right there. So roll the tape.
Joe Biden. Joe Biden. Joe Biden.
Have you taken a cognitive
No, I haven't taken the test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying you, before you got in this program, you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not. What do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
By the way, this is my little sister, Valerie, and I'm Jill's husband. Oh, no, you switched on me. This is my wife. This is my sister. They switched on me. But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
There is not a single solitary reason in the world why, as I said, we shouldn't be in a position that everybody, and that's my wife, Jill. Hey, Jilly, I'm Jill's husband, actually.
And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys. And I did. And back in those days, you sure how things have changed.
Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night, the phone. Make sure the kids hear words. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. Because if you could take care, you were a quartermaster, you can sure and help take care of running a department store thing, we're in the second floor of the ladies department. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm sick and tired of smart guys.
You know, the rapidly rising I don't know. You ever been to a caucus? No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
Why attack Sanders? Why? You're getting nervous, man.
What kind of country are we going to be? 4 more years of George, he's going to find ourselves in a position where if Trump gets elected, we're going to be in a different world.
Lie after lie after lie after lie.
You know, we have to come together. That's why I'm running.
I'm running as a proud Democrat for the Senate. And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap. Barack and I think it's a right for people to have bad health care.
We have to do at least several things. One, we have to depend on what the president's going to do right now. And first of all, he has to wait till the cases before anything happens. Look,
Exacerbating the need for environmental justice. Sorry, as a bug. Folks, we got a lot of work to do. I don't only need you to get me elected.
It's a case where we cannot let this. We've never allowed any crisis from the Civil War straight through to the pandemic of 17, all the way around 16. We have never let our democracy take second fiddle. We can both have a democracy and elections and at the same time correct the public health.
Everywhere I've been hearing all around the country. You're trying your best, but it never feels like enough. And here comes the train that he tried to make sure didn't continue to run. No, that's the commuter. All right. No, that's what. But folks, look.
Anyway, I am very willing to let the American public judge my physical and mental as well as my mental fitness.
I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
Can't let that happen. You can't let that happen. This country is so great. We have such potential. We're just starting to show our potential. If we didn't get hit with the plague, you'd see numbers, but we're going to do it anyway. Next year, we're going to do it anyway. It's going to be incredible. We can't let that happen. Everybody knows it. And you know, if he were a nice guy, he's never been a nice guy. He's never been a smart guy. Never been smart. Everyone knows it. Never been smart. But if he was a nice guy, we wouldn't even do that. But that's just like a very small version. That's not even the bad stuff. And one thing I can tell you, President Xi of China, Putin, Kim Jong-un, these guys are at the top of their game. They can't have this. Well, you don't want to give them this. We'll lose our country. We'll lose our country. We can't do it. We can't do it. Biden would be a disaster for cherry growers, farmers, workers all across your state. You do so many different things. Joining us tonight are Representative Jack Bergman. Right? Two great guys, Jack, thank you very much. And John Molinar. Thank you, John. Thank you, fellas. Great warriors. They've been just incredible people, I'll tell you what. They've been with me through everything, right? And we appreciate it. Are you in good shape with your races? You don't need any additional help? They're probably about 30 points up. You know, when somebody's good, they're good. You guys are great. Thank you very much, both. And your next senator, a tremendous guy. I spotted him a long time. I spotted him. He was somebody I looked. There were 5 people running a little while ago, a year ago, for a seat. Frankly, you have somebody there. That's okay. But I saw this man, and I said, roll it back. I want to see that again. John James, right? And I said, wow. What potential. And then I found out West Point, great student, great helicopter pilot. I'd trust him 100% to pilot my helicopter. I would do that 100%. No, he's supposed to be a great warrior, actually, but I got him to run, and he got his feet a little wet, and then he just took off. And I understand you're doing very well in that poll, John. I hear. Do you want to come up here? Come on up. Come here, John. Come here. Come on over here, John. Come on over. He's a great guy, and I hope he's going to be voted in. You're doing very well. Come on, John.
Mr. President, it's an honor to have you back in our state. Are we grateful? Are we grateful for the United States of America? Are we grateful for a president who's been back in Michigan more in the past 6 days than Gary Peters has in the past 6 years? You know, it always tickles me a little bit when career politicians talk about what they're going to do. But Joe Biden has had 4 decades in Washington, and Gary Peters has had 3 decades in politics, and we still have a life that doesn't benefit all of us. We need to get leadership that's been tested in the real world, people who understand how to create jobs in the real world, who can continue to bring results for everyone. So it's my honor as a warfighter and as a combat veteran to stand before you here today and encourage you to go vote, because only you can drain the swamp. God bless you.
Good guy, great man. That's a big, very important vote you're casting in addition to our vote. John James, he's a star. He's going to be a star. And you have somebody that's very special. And, you know, his competition, nobody knows who the hell he is. Peters. You know, you have a great state, Michigan. They say, oh, who's the senator? Peters. Who the hell is Peters, everyone says. Nobody knows who he is. He's a puppet for crying Chuck Schumer, I guess. That's about it. Anyway, so good luck. John James, everyone. You have to do it. Okay. Another great gentleman, House Speaker Lee Chatfield. Good. Nice to see you, Lee. Here, you doing good? And a woman who is like special to this part of the world because she headed up our campaign. And you know, sir, she kept calling, please, one more visit, because a Republican hasn't won Michigan for many, many years, decades, long time. So she'd call, please come over. So I'd do it. Then come over, can I do it again? I came so much, I felt like I should become a citizen of your state. That could happen. But, you know, she would just say one more time. So now it's toward the end. And I call and I said, how we doing? She said, you're going to maybe win, but you have to do just one more visit. That's all. So I did one more. I said, I wished her well. And I said, hey, the election's in 3 days. And I want to just thank you for working so hard. Thank you very much. I won't call you again. I got home and I got a phone call from her. She said, you need one more time, right? One more time. And I came and we ended up, right? Was that sometime? And we ended up, I started speaking at 1 o'clock in the morning. Now it was election day. And we had 32,000 people. Is that right? We had 32,000 people. And I looked and I said, it was 1 in the morning. And, you know, Barack Hussein Obama and Hillary came and Bill Clinton came. And they all came, the whole group. And it was an emergency because they heard they were going to lose. And when they heard that, Ronna called up and she said, you know, if you came, it would be good because they're all coming. It's like an emergency. Now, their visit was at 7 o'clock, which is prime time. They had 500 people. I started speaking at 1 o'clock in the morning. We had 32,000. So it's now election day. And she just got me, and she loves your state, I will tell you that. And she was so good. I said, you know what? We have to pick somebody now to run the RNC. That's the Republican National Committee. It's a big deal. And he said, how about that woman from Michigan? I mean, she just does herself. And I'll tell you, she has done a fantastic job. Ronna, come on up here. Come on up. Come on up. Come on. You want to talk here? Here, come here. Come on. Talk to me.
Thank you, Mr. President. Hello, Michigan! Lightning struck 4 years ago, and we blew the minds of the media and the world when we delivered Michigan for President Trump. Are we ready for lightning to strike twice? Everyone get out of your friends, your family. If you have wronged somebody, make it right and get them to go vote. Let's make America great again and re-elect our fantastic president.
No, she did a great job, Louis. We all love her. We love her. She's fantastic. She's got a spirit like you wouldn't believe. Thank you, Ronna, very much and for the work. And I think we're going to have a fantastic day. It's going to be an incredible day. And it's going to be, I never thought I'd say it, but this election is more important than 2016. I never thought I'd say it. This is going to be, because we can't allow this to happen to our country, this will be the most important election in the history of our country. It's going to set a course. It's going to go one way or it's going to go another. And if it goes the other way, it's going to be a terrible thing. It's going to be a terrible thing. So get out there and vote. It's going to be, we're going to win this. We're going to win it. We're winning all over. They have no idea what's going on. They have no idea. We see the real numbers, and it's no longer based on polling. We see what, the early voting's coming. They're supposed to be way ahead, right, in the early voting, then we catch them on election day. I don't know, for whatever reason, that's the way it is. We vote on election day. They're not way ahead, and they're having a lot of problems, and they have emergency calls out to people. It's going to be very interesting. Let's do the great red wave, okay? Come on. And get that guy in too, John. Get him in. We need him. We need him in Washington. For decades, our politicians spent trillions of dollars rebuilding foreign nations, fighting foreign wars, and defending foreign borders. But now we're finally protecting our nation, rebuilding our cities, and we are bringing our jobs, our factories, and our troops back home to the good old USA. It's about time. The troops are coming back. They're policemen. We're serving as policemen all over the world. We're policemen now. It's not what it's all about. For 47 years, Joe Biden viciously attacked black Americans. He called young black men super predators. To every black American, I am asking you to go out and vote for Donald J. Trump. This is your one and only chance to show Sleepy Joe Biden what you think of his decision to attack you, to jail you, and to betray you. And nobody's done it worse than him. I'm fighting for you. I got you criminal justice reform, prison reform, opportunity zones with Tim Scott, great guy, Tim Scott, and funding for historically black colleges and universities, which were treated extremely badly. Under my leadership, we achieved so much, so much. I said that, and I made the statement during debate. Nobody saw the debate last week, did you? Nobody? 2 weeks ago, it was good debate. But I said, nobody, with perhaps the exception of Abraham Lincoln, a lot of people said, could you do the perhaps the exception out, please, has done more for the black community than Donald Trump. And that's true. President Trump. All those things and more, and that's good. And you know what? It's showing up, too. When you look at Florida, take a look at those numbers tomorrow. They are, and Hispanic. Do you see what's going on with Hispanic? Hispanic numbers in Florida, they're saying what's going on with Hispanic? Hispanic Americans love Trump, and I love them, and I have for a long time. The black community is going to a level that we haven't seen in a long time. It's a beautiful thing to watch, and they are saying what is going on. This could be something very interesting that you're going to be watching. You're going to be watching some very good television tomorrow night. Very good television. Well, you have to say, 4 years ago, was that like the most exciting evening in the history of television? Remember how it started? This will be a very short evening for Donald Trump. This will be very easy, very short. And then they say, Donald Trump has won the state of Ohio. But it wasn't just that. We won by 8 points. Oh, by the way, Ohio's doing great, too. Doing great. Then it's Donald Trump has won the state of Florida. Donald Trump has won Georgia. He's won South Carolina. He's won their firewall, North Carolina, and he won it by a lot. What's going on? Donald Trump has just won Wisconsin. He's just won Michigan. And they held Pennsylvania, even though it was, we only had, it was 98% of the vote was in. If I lost every vote in the 2%, I still would have won by a lot. They held it. So you and Wisconsin got credit, and that's okay, right? But I just told Pennsylvania, next time you take credit, so let's do it a little bit earlier, please. No, we're gonna do fantastically in Pennsylvania. But that was one of the most exciting evenings ever, and I think we're gonna duplicate. I don't know, can you ever surpass something like that? But we're gonna at least duplicate it, and we need it to carry on what we've been doing. We've brought so many jobs back, and all of those plants that we talked about. We have plants. You had nothing for 42 years. It just people leaving, nobody coming. And now they're coming back, and they're coming back in droves, and the numbers are fantastic. Under my leadership, we achieved the most secure southern border in U.S. history. The Biden-Harris group would increase refugees from terrorist nations by over 700%. And that's the manifesto that was agreed to with Crazy Bernie, including from Syria, Somalia, and Yemen, right? You know that. The Biden plan would overwhelm your communities and turn Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the entire Midwest into a refugee camp. You're talking about tremendous amounts of people coming into our country. We don't know who they are. We don't know anything about them. I'm protecting your families and keeping radical Islamic terrorists the hell out of your country, if that's okay with Michigan. If that's okay with Michigan, if it's okay with you, we put the ban on because we want people to come into our country who are going to love us, who are going to help us, not people that are going to hurt us and blow up buildings. We invested $2.5 trillion in the U.S. military, the largest investment in the military we've ever made. We have to do it. All made in the USA, a lot of it made right here in your great state, a lot of it. And we now have the greatest equipment anywhere in the world, fighter jets, F-35s. We have the best tanks. We have the best rockets and missiles. We have the hypersonic missile that goes 7 times faster right now than the fastest missile in the world. If it went by us, we'd say, what was that? It would start over there, and before you could turn your head, it would be over there. It'll go 7 times. Think of that, 7 times faster. It's incredible. And we have all of these things, and our nuclear arsenal now is in tippy-top shape. And you know what I say? Pray to God we never have to use it. All of it, all of it, all of it. We're making submarines, the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. We're doing it all. And when I took over, it was depleted. Our military was depleted. We had old fighter jets. You had to go to the desert. It was called the graveyard for airplanes, right? And you'd strip planes that were sitting in the desert, rotting in the desert, and you'd bring the parts back. This was what we were flying in our airplanes. Now we have new tankers. We have the new super fighters. It's incredible what we've done, and much of it's already here. Most of it, much of it's coming, but it's all made in our great country. We just passed the VA choice and VA accountability, and nobody thought that could be done, and we just got, as I told you, 91% approval from our vets, our great vets. We obliterated 100% of the ISIS caliphate. People don't talk about that. When I took over, it was a mess. It was all over the place. We obliterated. We killed the leader of ISIS, al-Baghdadi. And we eliminated the world's top terrorist. Soleimani is dead. I recognized the capital of Israel and opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. I also recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. They were working on that for 52 years. And instead of endless wars, we're forging peace all over the Middle East. They're all getting together. They're all getting together. A vote for me and the Republican Party and John James and everybody, it's a vote for the American dream. And in conclusion, over the next 4 years, we will make America into the manufacturing superpower of the world, and we will end our reliance on China once and for all. That's already started. We will hire more police, increase penalties for assaults on law enforcement, and we will ban deadly sanctuary cities. With God's help, we will defend the right to life, religious liberty, and keep. Right. You better get out there and vote. And we will defend keep and bear arms. You know what keep and bear arms is called? The Second Amendment, which is under siege constantly. That's where we need John and everybody to help us. And our great congressmen, they've been so great, and we appreciate it. We will maintain America's unrivaled military might, and we will ensure peace through strength. We will end surprise medical billing, require price transparency, lower drug prices beyond any levels you've ever seen, 60, 70, 80%. I've instituted favored nations. The drug companies do not like me. They do not like me. They're taking out more commercials, I think, than Sleepy Joe. But we're going to get it down. Our prices are the highest in the world for many years by far, and we're bringing them down to the lowest price anywhere in the world, matching the lowest price. And we will always protect patients with pre-existing conditions. America will land the first woman on the moon, and the United States will be the first nation to land an astronaut on Mars. We will stop the radical indoctrination of our students and restore patriotic education to our schools. And we will teach our children to love our country, honor our history, and always respect our great American flag. We will live by the timeless words of our national motto, "In God We Trust." For years, you had a president who apologized for America. Now you have a president who is standing up for America and standing up for the great people of Michigan. Tomorrow, you have the power with your vote to save America. You are going to save America. It's the most important election. I say it all the time. This is the most important election our nation has ever had. I really believe that. Never thought I would have said that in a million years if you go back 4 years. So get your friends, get your family, get your neighbors, get your co-workers, get your boss, and drag them out and say, "Boss, come on, boss." You got to get out and vote. Get out and vote. So important. The red wave, I talk about it. The red wave, I think, is going to be far bigger. Look at all of these organic things that form in Iowa and the farm country, tractors, thousands and thousands of tractors. Yesterday, didn't they have 100 miles of cars? It was like 100 miles. All over the country, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 boats with Trump and the American flags all over. Never happened. You know, a movement like this has never happened before. It's never happened. And we have to keep it going and finish it out. From Midland to Mackinac, from Lansing to Grand Rapids. And you know where my last stop is going to be? I'm sorry to tell you that. I feel a little guilty. But Grand Rapids was where we did that final great stop, Grand Rapids. And so I'm going to be in Grand Rapids. It's going to be my last stop. There's something nice about that. Right? Because you can believe it. So I have 5 of these today, and they're all big monsters. I had 5 of these today, but I actually had 6 because yesterday in Miami, we left the stage at 1:30 in the morning. So somebody said, if you want, they said, so if you want, you could say you did 6 today. I think I'm going to say that. Nobody else could do 6 of these. You think it's easy up here? It's not easy. It's freezing up here, too. I got the wind. You don't have that. I have the wind. I'm freezing my ass off up here. Only from Michigan. And from Battle Creek and right here in Traverse City. It's a good place, right? Good place. We inherit the legacy of American patriots who gave their blood, sweat, and tears to defend our country and to defend our freedom. We stand on the shoulders of American heroes who crossed the ocean, settled the continent, tamed the wilderness, laid down the railroads, right? Raised up the great skyscrapers, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and made America into the single greatest nation in the history of the world. And the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come, and I mean that. Proud citizens like you help build this country, and together we are taking back our country. We are returning power to you, the American people. With your help, your devotion, and your drive, we are going to keep on working, we are going to keep on fighting, and we are going to keep on winning, 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 winning. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And together with the incredible people of Michigan, we have made America powerful again. We have made America wealthy again. We have made America strong again. We have made America proud again. We have made America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Michigan. Go out and vote. Thank you very much.
Well, there you have it. Inspiring words from our president as he wrapped it up here in Traverse City. Of course, he mentioned he is heading down to Grand Rapids, where in 2016, that was his final stop there as well. Observations, comments, Adrian, about what we just saw?
Absolutely. I appreciated the promises made by our president to keep patriotism in our schools, as I've had a lot of experience with anti-American sentiments being taught in my university and indoctrination being taught at our universities. So I really resonated with his promises to keep religious freedom and freedom of speech and patriotic values being taught in our schools.
You talked a lot about drain the swamp. That seems to be a very popular chant around here, is drain the swamp. And he promises that 4 more years of a Trump administration, there's a lot he can do in regards to draining the swamp.
Absolutely, and you know what? The swamp is present on both sides, and that's why he has a lot of haters. And yet, Trump is an ethical man, and he stands by morals, and that's why he's going to take those politicians who stand against American values and who are doing a lot of harm to this country.
Absolutely. And in terms of opening up the state, he mentioned several times to the Michigan's governors, open up the state here, and we've traveled around the state now 4 times in the last week or so. There's a lot of things that are closed in the state. There's a lot of, he talked about opening up the schools and how important it was to get the kids back in school, get people back in church. And that is a message that he wants to set perfectly clear here tonight, that a Joe Biden administration would shut it all down. Hey, we want to thanks to our partner tonight as well, because without our partner, it is quite honestly really difficult to do what we do. And of course, you, the viewer, as well. We appreciate all that. But let's take a quick shout out on our partner tonight.
Yes, with only days until the election, now is the time to prepare, and My Patriot Supply is back with a great offer for today only. Save $30 on their most popular one-week food kit. It comes with super cool ammo can and contains breakfast, lunches, and dinners that last up to 25 years. But you can only get it when you go to the special site, prepare2020.com. Think about it. When emergency strikes, what's your first impulse? Run to the grocery store? But in today's volatile world, you'll likely find chaos and empty shelves. Storing food in your home is a great way to protect your family in case of natural disasters or civil unrest, which we have seen too much of lately. If 2020 has taught us anything, it's this. Don't get caught unprepared. Make a plan today. Go to prepare2020.com and support this great sponsor who's bringing you today's rally. Prepare2020.com. Prepare2020.com. Again, that's prepare2020.com. Thank you to our partner.
Yes, thank you so much. And as you can see, everyone filing out of here, the president has said exactly what we need to do right now. And of course, that is to get out and vote. We've had a long campaign season for this 2020 election. And at this point, there's only one thing for you to do at home right now, and that is tomorrow, be at the polls. If you have not voted, go do it. The fight is now in your hands. Democracy is now in your hands, and our freedom and liberty now is involved with our voters.
Absolutely. This voting for this election is not, a love letter to the president. It is a chess move for the way you want to see this country being run. This is deciding whether America will still remain America for the next 4 years and for decades to come. if you vote for the opposition, if you vote for these Democratic candidates, you are essentially voting for Kamala Harris to be president and for her to be running this country with radical socialist, communist ideals that will destroy America, American ideals, and the American way of living.
Absolutely. All right. That sums it up here in Northern Michigan. I am Brian Glenn. She is Adrian Ferguson. Thank you so much for watching us. We'll send it back to the studio.
All right. Thank you, Brian and Adrian. We're now going to transition our coverage over to Kenosha, Wisconsin. That's rally number 4 of 5 of the day for the president. He will then head to Grand Rapids, back to Michigan, to wrap it up like he did back in 2016, the 2016 campaign, which we covered extensively here at RSBN. We will now repeat that and head back to Grand Rapids for the same ending in 2020. So stand by, everybody. We are going to end this stream, but you can catch us live in Kenosha on our YouTube channel. Just subscribe. Make sure you hit the red subscribe button so you get all notified every time we go live. We'll be live over there in Kenosha in about 5 minutes. So we'll see you there. God bless.